Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Yeah. Bills Mafia. Don Brown. Yeah. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the Mafia, I'm with the Buffalo Bills. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. Hey, who you reppin', what's your team? Who you reppin', what's your team? You know I'm reppin' for my team. I got that talent on my team. Micah Hyde, Jordan Boyer, can you catch it? Can you? Trade day is like a mask, you not catching anything.
Folks, you know it's the Mafia. We're rocking with the Bills. Round 2, 2021 NFL Draft. Everybody who's tuning in now, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Maniac usually rattles them off pretty quickly. Happy I was able to. Thanks for being here, especially if you joined us yesterday. There were times when we had 100 live viewers at a time yesterday. That's just unreal. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being here. Wake, as always. Meerkat, who has been doing loads of draft work. Cullen is doing a lot of work too. And Rob Ryan, our resident Jets fan, we just bring him along so we can pick on him. He picked a Mormon at quarterback yesterday. He's going to go on Rumspringa before he starts a game in the NFL. But, you know, we'll talk about the Bills. We'll shit on the Jets when they trade out of this pick like Rob Ryan thinks they will. Meerkat, you know, you and I, we mocked Russo to the Bills. So, you know, maybe tell the people a little bit of why we did that and why you and I were dancing last night on the live stream.
So I harped all night yesterday about how CB2 is definitely our biggest need, and we're in a great position to get one this round. And I think Bean saw that and saw the edges that were available. I thought with him on the board, it would be Ojulari over Russo, even though I had Russo higher than Ojulari in my power rankings. I just thought it was a better fit. But Russo, you saw him in college. He played, that zero tech position, the nose tackle. He played over the guard. He played outside of the tackles. He can be a versatile piece on a defensive line, I guess. You look at comparable players for him with that size and stuff. And you got guys like Eric Armstead and stuff. I'm not saying he's that type of guy, but he's just a physical monster. He didn't have the best pro day, but that's not – when you watch his tape, you see how athletic he really is for his size. He turns that speed into power, something he learned to do near the end of 2019, like at a high, consistent level, which you want to see. It's a project pick. Bean said we're looking towards the future possibly with this pick. Fits the mold of that perfectly because we don't need an edge to come in and start day one right now. It is going to be in need with Addison and Hughes getting older and big money kind of tied up in those guys. Could both be gone after the season, who knows? But it's a good move looking towards the future, and it fits the Brandon Bean mantra of getting these high upside developmental type guys because he trusts the coaching staff.
He does trust the coaching staff. And Colin, how did you feel about Gregor Russo when that pick went down?
Yeah, like Meerkat said, we don't need him to come in and start day one. But even if he's able to come in and play some meaningful snaps as the season goes along, as we move into, don't forget, an extra game this season, guys could get tired a lot more quicker, especially as they get older. So if Hughes needs more days of practice to get a rest day, who's getting those reps for him? It's going to be Russo. He's going to be moved in. He's going to get a lot more reps. And as the year goes along, we're going to see him get more meaningful snaps in games that really are probably going to matter going down the stretch in terms of seeding for the conference. So even looking forward to this year, at the end of the year, he's going to be playing meaningful snaps, and he's a physical specimen.
Oh my God.
6'6", 260, wingspan is insane. His hands are huge.
Yeah,
and
behemoth is the word.
15 and a half sacks is unreal. I know he didn't play last year, and, we'll see what happens because of that. But, you can't deny he had 15 and a half sacks.
The numbers speak for himself.
Looks like he was made in a lab.
He absolutely was made in a lab. It actually made in Buffalo, possibly, potentially. With a Buffalo connection because his mom lived here. His brother was born here, actually. So it's nice to see some stuff like that come full circle. And everyone watching, what do you think of Gregor Russo? We hear ourselves talk way too often. I have to learn to shut up. So, shut me up and tell me what you guys think of Gregor Russo and how he fits into the Bills. Rob Ryan, Jets fan here. How do you feel about Gregory Russo tearing Zach Wilson's ACL in week 1?
I'm not worried about that because, Zach Wilson, the Mormon he is, he's a little shifty.
A little shifty.
Shift around a lot, figuratively and literally. So, I'm not worried.
I thought it was hilarious. You saw the video of Zach Wilson standing in between a couple of prospects, and one of them was Russo. And, they're throwing up, everything. And, Wilson's, behind them. He's, looking around. And it's just funny to already see Wilson intimidated by Russo before the picks even happened. It's just a little bit of foreshadowing there, maybe.
Oh man, I'm trying to find that video right now. That was by far there. Okay, so what's the funniest the meme from draft day yesterday? Is Roger Goodell's chair was a funny one. Jalen Waddle walking out on his family, that was fantastic. Is there something I'm missing? What was the funniest moment of the draft?
Mac Jones walk.
The Mac Jones walk. Yeah.
The can I speak to your manager walk? That's the type of walk my mom would take if I was when I was a child. I'd be like, that kid beat me up or something. And she'd be, not that ever happened. I'm just, that's what it looks like. It was a Karen walk, and just Mac Jones pictures flying around. You love the draft night picture of him with the cigar in his mouth and his shirt off. He just looks like a human jar of mayonnaise.
I'll give you a Wake hot take troll, a train wreck troll. I think that the 2 quarterbacks that went into the AFC East are going to be the worst quarterbacks to come out of the draft from this year. That is not. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think it's very, very reasonable to think that Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance all have better careers than Mac Jones and Zach Wilson. I honestly, I never. Meerkat, Rob Ryan will defend Zach Wilson until the day he dies, or until the day they trade him for a 6th this year and a 2nd and a 4th next year. But what did you see from Zach Wilson and all the draft work you did that made him a 2nd overall pick?
I mean, he showed he can improve. His first 2 years, nothing really jumped out at you, and then the jump to last year was astronomical. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback stats jump like how they did. I don't have them in front of me, but It was crazy. And, he did it in a decent system there, and he showed a ton of arm talent. I know I've been trashing on Zach and on Rob a little. I'm sorry, but he's not an awful quarterback prospect at all. If Saleh, I like Robert Saleh. That's a good hire. He's a good football mind. If he can develop him right, and, they have the pieces. They have the offensive line now. Getting AVT was a big move. I like some of their young talent. I like Denzel Mims with a quarterback. I'm not sure if he's still on the roster. Chris Herndon, get that guy somebody who can actually get him the ball. People
is he still on the roster, actually?
Yeah, he just disappeared from the team, but he's still on the team.
And he's just a guy that, Wilson's in a good system. I said yesterday a few times, I'm like, he kind of reminds me of Johnny Manziel because he gets reckless outside that pocket when a play's breaking down. He tries to, he'll get off page with his receivers trying to, just whip something, or he won't take a sack. He won't throw the ball away. He'll throw that stupid throw trying to make the big play when it's going to hurt you in the end. But he's athletic. He has a great arm. He just needs to develop, calm down a little bit, and he could be a good quarterback. I'm not going to lie.
I also pronounced the L in calm, so that makes me feel really good, Meerkat. Thank you. Colin, you got 2 L's in your name, but I don't think the Bills took any L's yesterday with the pick of Gregory Russo. But looking at the rest of the AFC East, how did you feel about everything when that went down?
I saw a meme that was you guys. I'm hoping you're familiar with the movie Wedding Crashers.
Of course.
And
Wait, you're hoping we are, aren't you? How old are you? Shouldn't we be the ones saying that to you?
I'm 21. But no, it was the scene at the end when John goes to visit. Oh my God, and I can't even remember his name. Chaz.
Yeah.
And the guy's talking. And he's like, "Wow, good for him. What a loser." And it was. Every Bills Mafia when the Patriots drafted Mac Jones.
Yeah, that was funny. Shout out Tailgate Beers for that Beers, one. Yeah.
That was, I saw that. I was like, it makes sense. As a Bills fan, I'm one of my best friends here. He's a Dolphins fan, and he still has high hopes for Tua. And I'm like, I haven't been a big believer in Tua So as a Bills fan, you're looking at we have Josh Allen, and our 3 division opponents QBs are Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, and Tua. Like, come on. And I'm not a big fan of Zach Wilson. I don't think. I mean, college competition in football, I think, is like higher than we'll say basketball in terms of conference. But Zach Wilson didn't play in a Power 5, and the one game he had to win this year against Coastal, they didn't win, and that wasn't even a Power 5 school. So did he have that competition level that other schools, other QBs did? To make, I still think Fields was the second best quarterback in the draft. I think he was much better than Wilson. But I mean, who am I? I'm just a kid in college. I'm not an NFL GM. So
that's how I go with it. Like I was losing my mind when Justin Fields started slipping yesterday. But I'm also like, I'm not an NFL GM, but I don't know. I just thought that was crazy. The shout out to the Bears for, making the move to get him. That after just messing up a quarterback for a long time now, I think they absolutely hit that out of the park.
The best tweet I saw. I can't remember who tweeted it, but it was the QB1 Andy Dalton tweet, and then Agatha from WandaVision. It was so great. It's fantastic. Oh my God, that was Man, Twitter was around for the draft in like the 90s and the 80s and the early 2000s. Like, I just feel like we would be having so many like throwbacks. Like, we're going to be looking back in years, like 20 years from now, and being like, oh, remember this tweet about Mac Jones walking like an asshole? Yeah, that was a great storyline. Another storyline, obviously, Jets are going to be on the clock soon. Rob Ryan, off the camera, you said that you think they're going to trade the pick. Tell people why.
Well, I mean, I was right yesterday. I said before the draft started yesterday, or that they were going to trade the 23rd and move up. They did that. And then they lost their 2 third-rounders they had yesterday with that trade. So I really think there's still a lot of prospects out there. So I think they can move back maybe 5-10 spots. They regain at least a third-round pick, and they at least have another pick tonight. And there's still options out there. So I just think there's still a lot of prospects out there. If they take someone, then I'll be happy. But I think the better move is to trade the pick.
And one move that we're kind of waiting to happen is Aaron Rodgers. Now they're saying that they're not going to trade him. I think everybody on the live stream yesterday basically said, yeah, he's not going anywhere. I mean, like, what the hell? What the hell? They're saying that
this is Rodgers flexing.
He considered retirement now if he doesn't get moved or if they don't fix things.
It's all bullshit. Yeah. I mean, he's just pissed off. And what did they do? They didn't draft him a receiver. Like, I'd be mad if I was him too. Devontae Adams is incredible. MVS is, and I like Alan Lazard, but like you need to get the guys some weapons.
If there was one position they would address that still could make Aaron Rodgers want to stay that wasn't receiver, it had to be corner, right?
Yeah.
Because no one's going to forget Kevin King in the playoffs last year. Like, the dude was just a road cone sitting out there. They would have been better off putting like a dog with 3 legs out there. And that, like, there's just, I don't know how people, like, Monster yesterday was blaming the playoff loss on Aaron Rodgers because he didn't do enough to win, but like the field goal speaks for itself. That was on jeopardy for a reason. And then Kevin King speaks for himself just by being a shitty football player. Like, I don't know. I feel like I don't think Aaron Rodgers is as much of a dick as the rest of the world does. I think that's just me, though. Is it?
I just don't know how you can blame it. Like you said it yesterday when Monster was going off, you have the he's the MVP for a reason.
Yeah.
He can't have so little weapons and win MVP. Like, he has something there. And like you said, they lost that playoff game because of their defense. I saw a stat that was other corners or defensive backs, aside from Jair Alexander, let up like 80% of passes or complete percentage. And Jair Alexander was only 40%. Like, you can't blame everything on Rodgers. Yes, that field goal is not on him. And yes, you expect him to be able to get points down in the red zone. But like that NFC champion, he's the MVP for a reason. Like,
yeah, no, that wasn't on Rodgers. But to Wake's point, I like Aaron Rodgers a lot. Don't get me wrong. I feel blessed to have watched him. Like,
oh my goodness,
like his whole career, which is just a cool thing because he's such a good quarterback. And I love his Jeopardy stuff. He's done some other things here and there that I've liked, that like show his personality. But the guy is an asshole. This whole forcing the trade, trying to force a trade thing, asshole move, then saying, "Oh, I'm just going to retire." He doesn't intend on retiring, no matter what they do. He's going to stay playing football. He's not going to leave football for jeopardy. He's got years left. He loves football, and it's just like he's just doing this to just be an asshole. And then you hear the stuff like with his family, like that stuff is just kind of hilarious. But like, it's also like, who really does that? Like,
or is Jalen Waddle the next Aaron Rodgers? That begs the question, because he ignored his family from the second he got drafted. So maybe trouble in paradise in Miami, and he's not even there yet. You know, that might be that family's worst draft memory of all time. And yesterday, I wanted to talk about bad draft memories, and I have one I want to share. And, you know, if anybody has some bad draft memories, like comment them in the chat. These can be really, really bad. And mine comes from the E.J. Manuel draft. So my high school, we always had these these watch parties in the cafeteria, and it was a great thing. We had like 50 people packed in the cafeteria watching the drafts, and then the Bills are on the clock. And my friend John says, if we draft E.J. Manuel, I'm going to walk the fuck out of here. And then, of course, pops up on the screen. He walks out, slams all the doors, forgets his keys, is sitting outside his car, and he texts me, "Are you fucking coming? By the way, I forgot my keys. So, like, are you coming? Do you want to ride home?" So that might be, like, one of my favorites, but, like, it was shrouded in such negativity that it was really difficult. It was a very difficult situation. We didn't talk the entire way home. It was very delicate. R.I.P. in peace, John Sanity. Rob, you got to have bad draft memories as a Jets fan, and I'm not picking on you because, I mean, Bills fans have it just as bad as you. So what's one of your worst?
I have so many, it's just hard to choose from. I'm just gonna say Sam Darnold. I finally thought
Really?
I finally thought we had our QB 3 years ago. I was very confident Sam Darnold. He was the youngest in the draft, so I knew he had a lot of time, even if he needed a few years. But then 1 year after they fired Todd, but 1 year after they drafted him, they bring in Adam Gase, and that was the end of Sam Darnold in New York. And hopefully now with Zach Wilson, they finally have someone. I'm tired of having a new QB every 3 years. So hopefully this is finally the one, and we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, I hope, like, in all reality, like, I know we want, like, the Jets to be terrible, but, like, how good would it be if, like, Mac Jones didn't totally suck? Like, if he wasn't Andy Dalton 2.0, and if, like, Zach Wilson was actually kind of good, and Tua got better. Like, the AFC East, like imagine being a fan in the NFC West. Like, that's what the AFC East could be becoming right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true. Look at all the coaches. Sean McDermott has proven he's a good coach in this league. Robert Saleh has the praise to be a good coach in this league. Dolphins and Brian Flores. He's shown that he can build. He can get a team that was projected to go 0-16 to 5 wins, and then even progress above that. We'll see how he does this year. And then Patriots, obviously, they have Bill Belichick, who's we all know what he's shown. So, like, it could really be one of the best divisions in the league in the next few years.
We're getting close.
Aaron Maben.
You go ahead. Yeah, Aaron Maben.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, me and Robin, how bad that was. I had a little story. But another one that was bad for me when I first started, like, really, really getting into, like, the draft and stuff when I was younger was the 2011 draft. Because I wanted pretty much anything other than Marcel Darius. I wanted Von Miller to fall. And then you look at directly – and one of the best draft classes of my lifetime, you know. Yeah. You look at the players directly after Marcel Darius. At the time, you don't know. But I wanted a receiver. I wanted someone flashy. A.J. Green, Patrick Peterson, Julio Jones are the next 3 picks after Marcel Darius. Now, that's a bit of a hindsight kind of thing. But that night, I was extremely disappointed. Marcel – stat-wise, had a couple of great years, years, but, you know, he had his issues and stuff, and I just don't, you know, I imagine if it was Patrick Peterson or Julio Jones, I mean.
That'd be tough. That'd be real tough. Colin, any bad draft memories to share as the Jaguars are on the clock here?
Jaguars are on the
clock. I don't know. I guess the Maven one was, like, the first year where I started, like, I can remember, I guess. I was 8 years old. But I mean, obviously trading up for Sammy. Looking back, that was what were we thinking? Trading up to get Sammy Watkins at the 4th pick. Like I know he was supposed to be
right there.
Yeah, I know. Coming out like he was supposed to be super good. So you trade up to 4, and then like he just all I can picture is that one Jets game. I don't know if it was his rookie year where he had like an 80-yard run and he started pointing to the sideline and he got hawked by it wasn't even one of their cornerbacks. It was their fastest punt returner guy who was out there on the field. It was against the Jets and he hawked him down, and it was one of those never celebrate too early. And I mean, yeah, EJ obviously.
I played him in FanDuel that week too when he had that. Like you can never celebrate too early when you're running, especially as a rookie. Like that sets the tone for your entire career. One thing that can make you celebrate early though is Outlet Liquor. Got to get a plug into them before we get into the draft here. They are the new official sponsor of the Crowd Assist podcast, along with Amherst Ale House. For Outlet Liquor, no matter your taste, whether it's wine or spirits, they are here to make sure your cabinet is stocked and loaded. Located at 2152 George Urban Boulevard in Depew. Open 7 days a week for walk-ins and curbside pickup only. Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? Meerkat, what's your outlet tonight in terms of, it's not an outlet, I just had to segue it somehow. Who do you want the Bills to go after? I mean, we got a long ways to wait. We could see a trade up from Brandon Beane. What's your picture perfect scenario?
I mean, picture perfect would be, I'm not even going to say like JOK or Moore because if they're available where we are without a move, like that's a joke. There's something we don't know going on behind the scenes. Realistically, everyone loves Asante Samuel Jr. He might be able to drop, Iffy out of Syracuse, another popular pick tonight to the Bills. But I was harping on him yesterday. I like Tyson Campbell a lot. I think he fits that mold of a CB2, and you've seen what McDermott does with defensive backs. I think Tyson Campbell could be a super high ceiling guy there as a CB2. Other than that, I mean, I'm all over best player available. I'd like to maybe see some interior O-line. You have a ton of good interior O-line today that should be moving, and you might get some to slip into tomorrow. A lot of quality interior O-line. It's kind of crazy. And same with receiver. We talked about it yesterday with a few different guests. Emmanuel Sanders is just on a 1-year deal. Cole Beasley getting a bit old. And then, a couple injuries. It's Gabriel Davis and Stephon Diggs. You're absolutely relying on those two alone. So I could see a receiver tonight. Why not? But I'm hoping for that CB to then go receiver, go interior line, go best player available, go whatever you want. Go get another corner. Why not?
Yeah, we'll take a look at some of the guys who are still available out there right now. Obviously, this is my big board, so take it as you will. I'm just as big of an idiot, if not more, than everybody watching and everybody in StreamYard right now with us. But you got Owasu Koromoa, JOK at 14. Obviously, he's going to be the top player on pretty much anybody's board right now. You can take out the edge rushers like Ojulari because we obviously addressed that need with Gregor Russo yesterday. But, you look here, there's just so many offensive linemen available still, whether it's Tevin Pickens, Eichenberg, Cosme is someone that he was being mocked from the teens to the 50s. He is someone the offensive tackle from Texas really could go anywhere. And you see teams like the Steelers going with Najee Harris, knowing that there's just so much offensive line talent in this draft that if they have to wait an extra round to get there, it's not a huge loss on them. Could we maybe see the same thing with cornerback, though? Maybe teams are going to be like, okay, well, now we get these offensive linemen. Maybe the Asante Samuels, maybe if he falls to the Bills, just because people aren't willing to, be the first to start that run. Like that's as a fantasy football player, you don't want to be the first person to take a quarterback usually. Like you just don't want to be the one to set that off. So,
yeah. What are we thinking the Jags are going to do here? Like, I would be absolutely blown away if it's not Tevin Jenkins or Christian Barmore here.
I tend to agree with you.
Has to be.
Defense or offensive line?
Oh, the pick is in.
Jenkins he's like it's a great pick, but Barmore fits them.
I was shocked by ETN yesterday.
What did you think of it?
It
was a shock pick, but what did you think of it?
I think it was a great pick. Keep him with Lawrence, who has who has ETN done everything with Lawrence? They literally pretty much came in together. I mean, maybe 1 year difference because of ETN's freshman year, but ETN broke every record, like the most yards record in ACC history. Keep them together. I mean, they have James Robinson, but a lot of teams are going with the duo. So ETN and Robinson, I think that's a great duo.
That's like the name brand of what McDermott and Bean wanted from Singletary and Moss, in my opinion. They're completely different running backs. ETN needs the space. James Robinson can boulder through when he doesn't have the space right in front of him. But they're both super explosive in the open field. So like I really, really liked that. If they can actually, and their their left tackle is actually really good down there in Jacksonville. So if they can shore up the rest of the offensive line, like that could be almost like an Atlanta team that's going to put up a lot of points, but they're probably not going to win a lot because who the hell do they have on defense anymore? I don't know if I can name a person on defense.
Defensive line is a major need for them right now. Roy Robertson Harris right now is their top defensive tackle. That's why Rondolmore could make a lot of sense here, but Kevin Jenkins as well. They need offensive line help, especially with Lawrence.
Yeah, let's see.
Here we go.
Wow.
Gosh darn it, folks. Gosh darn it. I've been hyping him up since yesterday. Thought he'd slip to the Bills.
Before Samuel.
Good pick.
I mean, like,
I said I like him more than ASJ. Nothing against Asante Samuel Jr., but I don't think Asante Samuel Jr. is a CB2 in the NFL. Like what we want, like a perimeter corner. I thought Campbell fit that mold. Yeah, I thought Campbell fit that mold a lot better. And plus, ASJ can get a little handsy, a little too many penalties, which I don't like in our defense too. I mean. This is a good move for Jacksonville. Their top corners right now are Shaquille Griffin, which good pickup, and then C.J. Henderson, who was their first-round pick last year. And we'll see how that pans out.
Down there praying that the Jets trade this pick away.
I want more picks. I mean, I won't. I'll be fine with them picking, but I want more picks.
You have 6 picks tomorrow.
But picks. This team is awful.
If it's not a trade, what are you thinking they doing? Do they just go JOK? Because at linebacker, I mean, Gerard Davis is all right. Mosley I love, but then who do they have after that? Like Blake Cashman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not great.
They signed someone. I don't remember who though.
They have nice safeties, but like.
Yeah,
you could use a JOK style weapon on that defense. Best player available situation. I really don't know if they're not trading here. I'm not quite sure what the Jets are gonna do because they don't need a Barrymore. Or they don't need any D line really right now. Ojulari would be.
They need
Ojulari could make sense. I mean, Carl Lawson was a massive signing for them. Vinny Curry on the other back bookend there. Not the most inspiring, I guess, but he's not terrible. But
do we have any insight why JOK fell this far? Like, what were the concerns?
Just being a tweener. No one knows. If you're a tweener, you need to have one position that you can step in and play at consistently and be that position, but then be a variable piece on a defense. You can't just be hopping around constantly in different situations in the NFL like that. That's where you see these tweener type players fail. That's why they tell Derwin, like you see what the Chargers did with Derwin James. I mean, he's going to need a similar type situation to that, and he's going to need to adjust to, I guess, linebacker in the NFL. But I mean, like I said,
incredible. Sorry, I just see this Jets going on. Oh my god, that dog's definitely named Spot.
I'll be jealous if the Jets get JOK.
Oh, if they get JOK, I'm like that's the thing. Like, it seems like there are very specific types of coaches and defenses that someone like he could fit into. The thing is, I feel like Saleh is one of those guys who could make him work, right? Like, I'm terrified of that personally. Man.
So is Frank Gore still the starting running back?
No, he's not. 1 year. That was a 1 year deal.
So who's your starting? Starter.
Michael Pirine?
Michael Pirine.
Kevin Coleman or Pirine, yeah.
Okay, Michael Pirine won me my fantasy league last year. He got me 3 huge wins in the last 5 weeks of the season, and I started him in a playoff game.
This clock is going down pretty long. This usually sometimes indicates they're taking some calls right now.
Yeah, we know
if it gets in the final minute.
Mm-hmm. Actually, let's talk about that. The Bills didn't end up trading down yesterday. Obviously, they probably thought Russo wouldn't get there. So, even though the speculation or the perspective from everyone not in the Bills organization, I guess, was that, Russo is one of the top guys there, but there were probably 3 or 4 people that would have been taken ahead of him for most teams.
Wow. They really
I'm not going to lie. I didn't even know the Jets signed Keelan Cole.
The pick is in.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That's a really good move.
They
got Corey Davis now, too.
The Jets.
Yeah, with Corey.
Okay, how about this? Say something nice about the Jets. They might have a good receiving room.
Yeah.
They could have a top half of the league receiving room. Kevin
You got your
Masseri,
big body and Mims.
what do you think about the Jets receiving room? Do you think that they could actually have a decent looking bunch for Zach Wilson to throw passes to?
I think they need a little bit of improvement, but I think it's okay. I'm a Corey Davis guy. I've admitted it many times. I like Corey Davis. Big fan of his. But I think there's definitely some room to be had, and wasn't a Denzel Mims guy very much. Jamison Crowder can do what he needs to do from the slot. Definitely think they need a receiver too. I think Mims gives some potential there. I like Keelan Cole a little bit, but I think they need to add a receiver and give him a weapon here. I think that's.
Do you think that's here, or do you think that's later in the draft?
They don't have those thirds anymore, right?
No, but they have.
It's tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, they have
No,
2 fourths.
it's not gonna get it. You can't rely on getting a Gabe Davis later on, and you got to do it here. I think there's enough talent on the board.
Defense here.
Oh well,
J.
I wanted them to trade this pick.
I'm fine with it. I don't want them to have weapons, so I'm cool with it. I
wanted them to trade this pick. Here we go. Can whoever's ahead? I'm gonna just mute this for a second.
Oh wow. We're talking about receivers. It is a receiver. Elijah Moore, Rob Ryan, immediate reaction.
He muted you because he wanted to see it live.
Wow.
Best receiver available.
3 offense in a row with a defensive style coach. That is great. I think that's a great choice.
You just said defense.
No, but think about it.
I said receiver. You shot me right down and said defense. You're not allowed to say that. You are not allowed to say that.
No, he is.
Fans are delusional.
Interns, clip this right now. I know Ty B was doing a great job with that yesterday. Oh my god. Oh, that's funny as hell. 141 receiving yards a game.
Now thinking about it, I just thought about it just right now. Robert Saleh made that 49ers defense that was the worst in the league to one of the best in 1 year with not many improvements, additions. If he could make that defense pretty good with who we have, to build the offense is great for Mike LaFleur. Mike, I think is that who we have?
Matt LaFleur.
Do we have Matt? I think we have
Peter LaFleur.
Matt's in Green Bay.
Matt. So we have Mike.
You have Mike. Yeah, your offensive
I think this is great.
Goodman. What?
What?
I was just throwing dodgeball references out there, waiting until someone would call me out on my bullshit. I'm sorry.
That's a good pick. I'm not happy about that. Elijah Moore is good. I would have blinked if you went, early 20s yesterday.
Do you like E Moore better than R Moore? That's the big question.
That
is a good question.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
I like Rondolmore. I think I have him on my big board right now. He's the 60s kind of range. I just there's some receivers I like a little more. I'm high on Tutu Atwell.
Okay. I'm a Dwayne Eskridge guy, so.
Nice. Okay, I see that.
Max special teams player of the year. I think he's well worth a pick, and we got a trade alert here. Atlanta Falcons trade the pick. So
wow, the Falcons traded the pick, but I guess the Jets had
the Broncos.
Broncos trade up.
I guess the Jets.
They're taking JOK. They're absolutely taking JOK.
Has to.
Unless they like Davis Mills.
Oh my god, that'd be funny. And the pick is in. Wow, that was fast.
That was quick.
Yeah, the Broncos must hate Jacksonville after the bullshit they pulled yesterday. God damn. I love these NFL comps because it just gives them a reason to show people that aren't the college receivers coming out of the draft on TV right now. Like why else would we be watching Steve Smith? Like, is Elijah Moore that similar to Steve Smith? Is that a reasonable comp for anybody who knows Elijah Moore? Rob Ryan, you're a big Elijah Moore guy, apparently.
Oh, of course. What was that? What were you saying?
I got to keep you on your toes. They're comparing him to Steve Smith. I mean, am I the only one who thinks these player comps on draft day are just a little futile?
I mean, they're pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, it's for every sport. I remember for hockey, I think it was Cole Caulfield. He was compared to like Leo Messi. What the fuck?
Lionel Messi.
Whatever, Messi. But like he was compared to him for a hockey player. So like the comparisons that they do on draft days for every sport are just awful.
At least we're not the NHL. I mean, because the NFL's not the NHL.
Did the Broncos just trade up for JOK so that they don't have to start Josie Jewell again at linebacker, or are they? Exactly. It sounds, yeah. Josie Jewell. I don't know. Or, I mean, Tevin Jenkins makes a lot of sense. Extremely talented. But, I mean, Garrett Bowles isn't bad. You got Juwan James coming back, but he hasn't played in, like, what, since 2018? Early 2019? He's been out for a minute. He had that.
A lot of people say they were jumping the Dolphins, and a lot of people are saying because the Dolphins have been known to want a running back. So
could this be Javonte Williams? Okay. Wait, is Philip Lindsay still there?
Yeah, and I think isn't Melvin Gordon still there as well?
And yeah, Melvin Gordon. Philip Lindsay left. It's Melvin Gordon and Royce Freeman are their 1-2 right now.
Okay.
God, they still roll with third-round pick Royce Freeman from 3 years ago.
Right.
Terrible.
I feel like I've always thought him and Devontae Booker are actually just the same person. They just wear different names and uniforms.
Royce Freeman, when I watch him play, reminds me of Trent Richardson. He just like runs straight and then falls down the second contact happens and like doesn't look for a hole or try to read a defense.
We do have someone coming up to pick the Broncos or announcing the Broncos pick. We'll see how this goes. Billy Thompson. Never heard of him before, but congrats on the career.
What did they trade to go up 6 spots or whatever, 4 spots, whatever that was?
Hop the Dolphins for Jenkins?
Maybe. It is Javonte Williams. Wow.
Okay, good call, Kevin. Well, Wake, you said Javonte. Kevin, you said running back, right? They're hopping Dolphins for a running back.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's the one that's
chemistry here. That's just our chemistry.
Yeah, it looks like they needed. I mean, it's a good pick. I mean, they needed to come up for a running back. That room's terrible there. They've really felt. I mean, I think Miami was. If he's good, I'm glad he's not in the division. So.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're kind of in a running back purgatory for a bit today. I mean, there might be a couple more guys taken, but like after Williams, there's no one that really stands out. But then again, running backs, you're seeing mid-round guys get snagged up and perform every single year. So they're all in on Drew Lock. I thought, outside chance that you go with Trask or something. You heard people starting to hype him up.
I could see them doing a late round quarterback though. Like I don't know why, but I feel like Elway would just love Sam Ehlinger for no reason. I feel like that's a match made that won't work out.
So Moe's Tavern wants to know Rondale Moore is a perfect fit with the McBean culture.
I don't know much about Rondale Moore.
So a little background here. This is my dad.
Okay.
Hey.
My dad too?
He listens to the Jim Rome show all the time, and Moore did an interview with Rome, and he sent it to me. He was raving. He called me like right after. He's like, "I just listened to this interview. You got to check it out." So I checked it out. This guy is so well spoken. And he's such a professional at already at what he does and how he talks that he's the guy that you want to bring into this style of culture, that he's not going to have to be whipped into shape per se. Like he's the guy that's going to come in and be professional and go to work and get his job done. So I think this is where, and I mean, I'm like, I've never even heard of this guy. So I looked up his film. I mean, he was a stud. So
Rondale Moore is a guy that was interesting to me because I feel like if he was like 2 inches taller, he'd be a questionable first round pick. He's he's an undersized slot. What is he, like 5'7"? I mean, he's explosive.
5'8", 4'3". Yeah, 4'3" guy.
He blows off the line, like quick twist immediately when the ball is snapped. He blows by a receiver. I mean, the size scares me. Don't get me wrong, but we do. We've seen Isaiah McKenzie be successful in our offense. He plays strong for his size, though. Decent out running. He's an interesting guy. Where, like I said, if he had another inch or two, I'd say, hey, I'd probably put him in like the 20 to 30 range, maybe.
We could all definitely use another inch or two, but we're gonna see who the Miami Dolphins are coming up selecting here. Rock and roll legends, I guess. I don't know who they were, but there's the one guy in the mask awkwardly dancing behind them. That's fantastic. Any guess?
I like that suit on the right.
Trey Sermon, maybe?
Trey Sermon, maybe? Yeah, that's a good guess, too.
The other UNC running back?
He's J.O.K.
I mean, Tevin Jenkins makes sense. I mean,
they also just
their tackles aren't great. It's Jesse Davis and Austin Jackson. I mean, Tevin Jenkins is good. I'm surprised on the slip, honestly. Alex Leatherwood getting taken above him is just like, to me.
Who?
Javon Holland, the safety from Oregon.
He's okay.
Off the board before Morig?
That's insane to me. I have Moore.
I had him in
19th.
the 50s or 60s here for Holland. So
I have Holland at 40, I think, right on mine. Yeah, the ticker at the bottom. But I had Moerig at 19. I like Holland.
I have Richie Grant. I like Richie Grant more from UCF in front of those two. I like them both ahead of him.
Richie Grant's nice. I think he's going to make somebody really happy.
Andrew Sisko's right there too. Too.
Kevin, I'm gonna shoot our friends over at Dolphins Talk a message real quick because I know they're super busy, but I'm gonna at least see what they think about that because
depending on who you get, they like everything they do. So
that's also true.
Holland's nice though. Holland's solid.
I still don't like for the amount of picks they had what Miami's done. Like, yes, you had the 6th overall pick. Yes, you had some high draft capital. I'm not particularly happy if those are, I had 3 picks in the top 35, and I don't know. I don't like what they've done.
I don't mind what they've done. I mean, Jalen Phillips was not my favorite edge rusher. I'll say that. Like, he's probably like my least favorite out of the top few guys. But I mean, the Jalen Waddle pick just made sense. This one is just bad.
Yeah, you had 6th overall. I mean, you're going to get somebody.
Yeah.
This isn't baffling to me. It's a little bit of a reach, but I mean, like I said, I have him on 40. The thing with Holland is, like, if you watch his tape, he's a pro-ready player. He reads the field. He's got great instincts. He plays around the box. So he's rangy in the box. He plays strong. He's got good size. He's nothing crazy. But I think he's almost kind of near his ceiling, but his floor is up here. He's an NFL ready player.
Mm-hmm. Right? Is he more NFL ready than Trevon Moerig though?
That's the thing. I don't get the Moerig slipping. There might be something going on behind the scenes we don't know about.
Yeah, with JOK.
Same here. I think the tweener thing's big for JOK. People are scared.
Yeah, see him go here to Philly.
I feel like every pick I'm just going to keep saying it's
yeah.
So I got a response from Dolphins Talk Tom, and I'm going to share my screen in just a second so that I can put it up.
The Bengals have traded the pick to the Patriots, so right behind the Eagles pick here.
38. Oh my.
So what's
46 for 38? So they traded up from 46. They're gonna have to pay a little bit for that.
Mm-hmm.
Get this high up. I mean, it's not going to be a ton, but they're going to have to pay a little bit to get from 48 to 36.
Yeah,
Eagles can use the safety here too.
It's going to cost him a 3rd round pick to come up to make that trade.
So Tom Bernice said to scroll his timeline to see what he feels about Javon Holland, but apparently it's not good. So I'm sorry to put him on the spot here without him even being here, but. Anyone telling him to relax will be banned. If you're expecting analysis on the picks tonight, I won't be speaking much other than how Chris Greer and Brian Flores believe in play action, not run pass option. Interesting. Fill me in on the rest of the night. I'm going to bed. Man, sorry, Tom.
What did he want?
That's a really good question, and I'll try to figure out
RPOs there. He's talking about a few different things.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep talking with him. I'll keep the dialogue on Twitter going if you guys want to keep following that, figure out what he actually wanted. Someone who I really want to get their perspective on what they wanted for the Bills, Mookie Hawkins, great friend of the podcast. Mookie, we had Robin on yesterday. You're in Cleveland, right? Ah!
Okay.
What's up, Mookie? How's it going?
Oh, man. You want to talk about trying to get a pick in right now? Jeez. What's up, guys?
Nothing much, man. Living the dream here. How did you feel about the Gregory Russo draft pick yesterday? I know you were a big Jason Owe guy, so I'm sure you would have preferred to see him, right?
I was an Uwe guy, but when you really look at the overall production of Russo, 15 and a half sacks, before opting out, a guy that can get sacks in bunches, something that the Bills don't normally do. So, that's something when you really look at it. In 2019, he was second to Chase Young. So, with that being said, I think we got another potential steal in the guy. They love his length. I love his length, 6'7", 265, 11-inch hands. So when he put his hands on you, that's where it ends. So I like the pick. It's a guy that he's going to be a situational rotation guy for this year, and next year he'll take over, and him and Espinosa will be the bookends of the future.
And what was shocking was seeing the Eagles pick come in any moment now, but what was shocking to you yesterday, maybe the most in the first round?
I don't know. Hey, guys, are y'all having a problem on hearing me because of the stuff in the back? Or
It's a little loud, but I think we're okay right now.
We can hear you fine, yeah.
They need to turn that damn TV down, though.
Don't they know that Mookie Hawkins is in the building? Like, where's the respect?
Let me see if it's working. Oh, see? Ask and you shall receive.
Wow.
Jeez.
Landon Dickerson, huh? All right, Landon Dickerson's a good pick there.
Yep. A solid interior offensive lineman. A little bit of versatility.
And apparently Bill Belichick really wanted Barrymore because it's been leaked everywhere.
Is that what's happening?
Yep.
Barrymore, my main comp for him was kind of like a Marcel Darius.
Yeah, I remember you said that, yeah. Okay, it just showed up on the TV. I was hoping that maybe they forgot to fax the paperwork or something. But the Patriots are
They
on
show me no love on the tube. I tell you what, I'm going to walk with it. I'm going to give y'all a little quick tour of
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
let's show us around here, Mookie.
Yeah, let's go live to Mookie.
Yeah.
Oh, traded the pick. They go out here. They take care of us and give us some sort of.
Oh, Mookie, no.
Don't lose Mookie. We're live on the floor there in Cleveland. We're live on the floor.
The closest action we got last night was Matt Perino eating ice cream. That can't miss television right there. But
here too. All right, let me just stay here.
We'll get him back. He's right there. Yeah. But Kevin, what overall yesterday, reflecting on everything, Gregory Russo, you weren't as pleased as Meerkat and I. You did tweet earlier today about him and Epinesa both being extremely successful in the same collegiate year. How have you come around to the draft pick about 20 hours later?
He's still not my favorite prospect.
Yeah,
I'll just be honest with it. Bring it down, to where it is. Ola Jahari would have been a good pick for me. I thought he had the production, the more ability to play strong here. Mm-hmm. Still on the board. Not sure what the medicals say there. But I've just never been an edge guy. I tweeted out last night what they've sunk into edge and how they're still looking for him. They spent over, to the D-line position, over $100 million total. They have spent a second-round pick, a third-round pick prior, a first-round pick on Ed Oliver. There's a lot invested in there, and it's still been, they're still looking for players at the unit. They got to start hitting them. They got to start hitting them, guys. And
if it hasn't worked, they gotta keep going though. That's the thing. You can't knock the pick because
the sunk cost fallacy, of course. But at some point, then you're just not good at drafting that unit though. So I mean, I need production out of him. It's not something I want to see in 3 years. So I'll give a year, but I get antsy real quickly when I start to see inactives on first week of the season.
And it is Christian Barmore to the Patriots.
Oh, y'all got to be kidding me. Christian Barmore just went to the Patriots.
Mookie, live reaction. How does that make you feel?
I don't like that pick.
For us or for them?
For us.
Yeah, I didn't think
Yeah.
so.
I just tweeted I'm scared of facing our current interior offensive line facing him twice a year. He's violent. He's big, but he can move. He can use his hands. He attacks.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a scary pick especially if we're bringing back the same offensive line as last year. Luckily, they were good in pass protection, but the 2 games a year that we play the Patriots, running the football could still prove to be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little tough. Barrymore is a beast, but hey, you got to bring ass to get ass. Where I'm from, so be up for the challenge. Ike Boddicker, he got to be up for the challenge. Feliciano, those guys got to be up for the challenge. Cody Ford, step your game up, get healthy. Got to be up for the challenge. So, New England is all about defense, and that's what Bill Belichick thrives on. So, he's going to get some good pieces. And
it looks like all they traded was 2 fourths to get up that high. So the value's not crazy right now, Mookie, to get up there in the board. They only traded pick 122 and 139. Got to hold on to that 3rd round slot. So would you make a trade up at this point, Mookie, for something? If you're the Bills?
Well, it depends if they high on the guy. I don't think the Bills are going to make a trade. I don't think they're going to do it in the 2nd round unless it's for Zach Ertz, possibly.
Okay.
But at some point they are going to make a trade because they don't have a 4th round pick, and there's still a lot of talent between 2nd and the 4th round. So they got to get back in the game at some point. I think it's a little too early right now. I think they go ahead and get the cornerback at 61, and then after that you could trade. You can entertain whatever you want to entertain after that. But first and foremost, get the top 2 positional needs that you need. You took care of that edge rusher yesterday. And then go ahead and get the cornerback today, and then anything else is a luxury.
Yep. What's the scene been like in Cleveland to you? How's the city been treating you? How's the atmosphere been over there?
Oh man, I've never been surrounded by so many damn Cleveland fans in my life.
Oh no.
Everywhere.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Man, it's like I went to Myers and everybody are Cleveland Browns fans and stuff up there. But it's a good time. My family is from Ohio, so it's a good time. The weather has been, I guess, typical weather. But all in all, Cleveland's a good place. They put out a good venue out here down at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's good for the fans here. So hopefully, we can get one in Buffalo soon.
Yeah, oh my God, a draft scene like on Canal Side by the harbor, that would be one of the most pristine draft pictures I've ever seen in my life. Like honestly, I don't know if there could be better setups for it.
Tevin Jenkins just going, yeah.
Yeah, and that's someone who I would have loved if he could have slid a little bit further.
Protect Justin Fields.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Mookie, of all the quarterbacks that went yesterday, who do you think has the best situation for them? Who do you think the team's got right?
Well, you can't. Well, Trevor Lawrence is an exception because we know what they're dealing with in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So, Trey Lance, he's in a good situation because there's solid coaching there. I'm happy that the Jets took Zach. I'm happy that.
Yeah, I think we were all pretty happy about that, to be honest. I said earlier, I think that the quarterbacks that went into the AFC East might be the worst ones to come out of this draft when it's all said and done in the first round.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we don't have to face Justin Fields twice a year. So, I was ecstatic about that. But you got to look at Mac Jones. Anybody can be good when you got a team full of 5-star recruits. So, he's going to have to develop some things, and, we want to have to see what Mac Jones brings to the table. Now, he do have a dog mentality, but, does that win ball games in the NFL? No. So, he's a pocket guy. I kind of like that, especially with those 2 new young bookends that we got that could be chasing Mac Jones down for the next 5 years. So you got to look at Justin Fields in the Chicago situation. It's kind of sketchy because, there's still some loopholes there. What are you going to do at running back? You got receivers that's trying to leave. So, he's not walking into a situation where, those pieces are there. The Chicago Bears are really starting from scratch. So the one who really has an up and up right now, I would say Trey Lance.
Yeah, I personally wasn't shocked to see him go third overall. I brought it up yesterday on our live stream that I'm still exhausted from the 5 hours we were on the air, is that I feel it might be a bit of an overcorrection from what Josh Allen did to them.
Yeah, but, it's kind of funny now, when Josh came out, it was a lot of people was, it was doubters. There's still always been doubters, and they still trying to doubt to make the lie true. But Josh is not going for that. And, now he's like the benchmark of the league. Oh, he's the next Josh Allen. It tickles me for them to say that now after what they said in 2018 about him, So now everybody want to take credit. I give Mel Kiper a little bit credit. The rest of them, the kick rocks.
I mean, I could be kicking rocks with him because I was not ecstatic when that pick was taken. Kelvin is literally the only person I know who was on the Josh Allen train before we drafted him. And honest credit to Kelvin for being on the right side of that call, because that was a very difficult position to make in that.
That was kind of easy.
Falcons.
I mean, when you look at it, you had Josh Allen and you had Lamar Jackson. Those are the two that I had high on my board. But at the end of the day, the comparisons, would you rather have a Cam Newton comparison or a Michael Vick comparison? Me, I like the big quarterback, somebody 6'5", because, for the longest,
there's Richie
been having
Grant.
these little short quarterbacks, man. If you're not Doug Flutie, then, Doug Flutie's the only guy I know that can play ball, at that height. But I need a big quarterback, somebody that can see down the field, somebody has a big arm, and we finally got that. Josh Allen is the biggest quarterback the Bills have ever had.
Yep. I think it was the mobility for me.
Big gunslinger, so I was happy that the Bills took him.
Yeah, I mean, the mobility for me, I saw at his pro day was huge. I thought that he'd be able to convert right away with that, and we did see that right off the bat. The big arm strength was there. I liked his intangibles. Some of the off-the-field stuff you didn't know. Like, he gets along with his teammates. Like, people love playing for him. That's huge stuff that, a lot of us didn't really realize right off the bat. And he just developed his accuracy, and, he's just a primetime player. I mean, for me, it was pretty obvious that I thought he would be good. I just didn't know how good he would be. So, I am excited to see him. I bought into Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper was talking. So Mel Kiper's not perfect evaluator by any stretch. Yeah. But what Mel Kiper is good at is talking to teams. He has sources for years. He has ownerships. He knows what he's saying. It's not necessarily that he's perfect, but when he hears something, about a player from other GMs, that's what's true. It's not just his evaluations. Mel Kiper hears from GMs across the league, and that's where he comes up with a lot of his projections. And I mean, to me, Josh Allen was always going to. I'm shocked at some of the players that went in front of him, to be honest. And the Bills got in good position there. I don't know who. To me, the biggest question is who would the Bills picked if he was gone? That's always going to be the question. I don't know.
Well, they would have had to go Lamar. They would have had to go Lamar.
Yeah, I mean,
Josh Allen was off the board. You would have had to go Lamar. You would have to get the dynamic quarterback. But one thing that stood out to me with Josh is one thing that Jim Kelly had that every quarterback that the Bills had after him didn't have was the toughness.
Yes.
Jim Kelly was tough, and Jim Kelly had that clutch gene. Now, sneaky Josh is Captain Clutch. If you look at all those game-winning drives he had early in his career. And what people don't fail to realize, they draw comparisons to, he really reminds me of a more polished John Elway. You know what I mean? If you really look at it, Josh Allen. He's a little bit more like a John Elway, because they always say John Elway could run. He had the cannon arm. You know what I mean? He had the clutch gene. And he's tough. So, that's the kind of comparisons I would compare Josh Allen to at this point. A little bit more athletic John Elway. And, and you see the results. At the end of the day, when we need that drive, I'm comfortable to know that Josh Allen can drive down the field when needed. Calm, cool, collective, like it's no problem. And he can be struggling all game, but if we need that drive to go up and win, he has that capability. So I'm ecstatic over Josh Allen.
And I love the quarterback talk right now because something I wanted to talk about is like this is probably the draft class since 2018, and I know it's only been a couple years really, but that's gotten the most hype around the quarterbacks. 2018 was thought to be maybe one of the best quarterback classes maybe in NFL history. It seems like for the most part it's lived up to the hype. We had, Lamar Jackson winning MVP, Josh getting MVP votes, Baker Mayfield settled into a good starting role. Obviously, Darnold and Rosen didn't work out, but do we think there's a world where this draft class maybe surpasses what the 2018 one can do?
The jury is still out on that, but one thing I can say, those guys are going to really be hitting the ground running early.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see. Justin Fields, right now he's on probably 1 year window. Unless the fans get to, crying for him, then he's going to be out there. Mac Jones is definitely going to sit next year. Trey Lance possibility, he can sit till next year. Trevor Lawrence is going to take his bumps this year. Zach Wilson is going to take his bumps this year. So out of this crop right now, you got two guys that's only going to really, that's starting right now. So, the jury's still out on that. We just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, and the Dolphins made a big trade up, trading their next year's 3rd round pick and the 50th overall to come up right here. It looks like for Eichenberg. So.
Oh, no.
It's a great pick.
That would be a great pick. I would be so mad about that.
So the Dolphins trading future away to move up 8 spots.
Right now.
Wait, did they move with the Giants or the Lions?
Giants.
Oh, okay. Lions took Onwu Zarike. He's awesome. I mean, Barmore was like the jewel of defensive tackle class, but I just took Onwu Zarike off of my board. I had him in the mid-30s. In my mock, I actually had him being like a luxury pick for the Buccaneers at 32. He's just very polished. He's not small. He might need to put on a little weight, a little muscle. He's only 290, but he's extremely, extremely athletic. Like he's quick with his hands, quick with his feet, quick firing the gap. He's extremely athletic, really polished pass rusher at defensive tackle.
Yeah. The D tackle from Washington.
Yeah, the D-line unit's thinning out quickly here, so that might be off the board for the Bills.
Yeah, that's what I said. Those D-line, they're going to start coming off that board. Those corners and linebackers going to start coming off that board.
So, yeah, we could. It wouldn't shock me even if we saw Tyler Shelvin get out of there before the 3rd round even started, and he's someone I was hoping they could get their hands on in the 3rd round.
Well, I hope the Bills can get their hands on Divine Diablo in the 3rd round.
Oh.
I
like that. Talk about him.
Well, here he is, a guy that's 6'4", 225 pounds, runs a 4.40. He can play, he's a safety, but he can play will linebacker. He can cover corners, and he can cover tight ends. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He's the true hybrid that probably McDermott's been looking for. Jeremy Chin type of guy, a guy that can, basically play. They love those guys that has player flexibility.
Yeah.
Here it is. Right now, we could throw him out there, and he can check Travis Kelce one-on-one. That's the type of guy that the Bills need. And he has the size to be physical with him. So I would like to go get that pick. He's from Virginia Tech. The Bills is always pulling guys from Virginia Tech, from Wyatt Teller to Tremaine Edmonds. So, they got some stock in Virginia Tech. Hopefully, it's some more good stock that they're trying to pull out of there in this year's draft. So, he's another guy that gives you player flexibility. You can move him around and make plays. It's nice to know that you got a 6'4" safety out there that can check tight ends and allow Tremaine Edmonds to be Tremaine Edmonds, and Milano can fly underneath with the running backs if need be. So, I love that pick. The stock is rising. Bills don't have a 4th round pick right now, so go get him in the 3rd round, because you still have a need at linebacker. Even though you re-sign Matt Milano, you still got to bring in more guys. We had Matt Milano out there with Travis Kelce. We didn't get a good result with that. So we got to bring some more guys in to help that.
And then we're seeing the Dolphins pick here. It is Liam Eichenberg, so that's really disappointing to me. But, I mean,
then the Raiders trade up.
Yeah, the cost right now, guys, is not much. So if the Bills do have a guy in mind, the price.
You know who it is? If the Raiders moving up, did JOK go off the board yet?
No.
That could be it. Probably drooling
right here. This probably JOK right here.
Oh my God, why? Like, I've been saying it's probably JOK for the past literally since the draft started. Man,
I mean,
Yeah, I got
yeah,
50
they
million
can
TVs
use
going on
safety,
right
linebacker help.
they could use
That's
anything.
for sure. Yeah, Motor, JOK, either of the top guys,
Yeah.
that are on the board right now should be in play for them. But who knows with the Raiders? They're always shocking us. I mean, yesterday, Leatherwood. I like Leatherwood. I think I had him rated in the mid 40s, late 30s on my big board.
Yep.
But
Yep. Yeah, Leatherwood.
there were just better players there, in my opinion. But I'm not an NFL GM, so. Who's their GM? Mayock?
Yeah.
Mike Mayock?
He was just
that.
you 30 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think the costs are nothing right now, guys. Everybody, I mean, it's not costing much. Teams moving up. They traded a fourth for a 6 swap.
Yeah,
so it's not.
That's not
crazy.
bad to move up 6 spots. That's not bad at all.
The prices are going to thin out even more. So, as Asante Samuel becomes available quicker, I'd like to see the Bills start to get a little more aggressive as those costs start to come down.
Could Jacksonville at 45 possibly be a candidate?
Yeah.
They keep hopping around. They might have a guy in mind and might be thinking they can keep getting him later. I have no idea. I'm trying to see who would be looking to move back right now. I'm surprised the Giants did. I thought the Giants were going to hop all over JOK there.
So 45 would cost, just as a reference, would cost still your second and your third, roughly.
Yeah, that's why the Bills ain't going to move.
Yeah, it's a big jump. They're not going to go up a third.
If Brandon Bean didn't move yesterday, I don't think he moves in the second round either.
Yeah,
guys are slipping.
Yeah, and he's going to stay true to his board. I don't think that it's right now. It's a cornerback draft, so he can stay put right now at 61. Right now he can, but if those corners start running off, then they're gonna have to make a move or start looking at guys like Trill Williams, the guys out of San Diego State. So put it to you like this: Levi Wallace was an undrafted rookie. All right, he's been the number 2 for 3 years, an undrafted guy. So we can get a 4th round right there, you know what I mean, and still be, a little bit more on point, with that, So we just have to see. We right now this pick is going to let us know where the Bills feel that corner. If the Bills don't get a cornerback here, then they
might not.
It really don't matter. They're going to bring a guy in that's going to compete, but. Maybe it's something higher on the board at a need. Do they go tight end, Brevin Jordan, or?
I hope not. To be honest, I'm not a big tight end guy at least in day 2. Day 3, do whatever the hell you want, Brandon Bean. Honestly, I'll trust you. But
right.
I think that with Hollister and Knox are good enough as the starters right now, and there are just people who can impact the starting NFL roster more immediately at almost every other position than tight end. Except for Kyle Pitts, just because he's the exception this year. We see tight ends, even TJ.
I think we can hold on until tomorrow for Trey McKitty, like we did in the mock draft, Mookie.
I mean, me personally, with this tight end deal, Dawson Knox is entering his 3rd year, and if you look at how the Bills develop, it really clicks in that 3rd year. So okay, you could say he is with Dawson is just a concentration problem. He catches the hard passes but drops the easy ones. So it's just a matter of gearing your mind, maturing your mind to do what it's supposed to do and look the damn ball in and catch it. He's the dynamic tight end. He runs a 4.5 40. So I think he's going to have a breakout season year 3 because it always clicked. It clicked for Josh Allen. It clicked for Teron Johnson. It clicked for Deion Dawkins. Year 3 is is when the time is supposed to click in. So. I'm cool at tight end, but you want to bring in this guy like Zach Ertz, or you can go get a tight end like Trey McKitty later on, in the 5th round, So.
Yeah, no, I liked when we did our live mock. I liked getting Trey McKitty when we did. That was great. But you're talking about guys in their 3rd year. Do you think this could be a breakout year for Devin Singletary too?
And that's the question. I said, was it sophomore slump, or was it lacking continuity? Or was it scheme fit? I say it's more or less scheme fit. and the Bills recognizing what they have. And for Brandon Beane to come out and say, hey, we know that, these guys are not a home run hitter, to me, that's a problem. You know what I mean? And they need to address that problem. Or, they're looking for, Breida to take over. Or,
it could happen. I believe it.
Now, I mean, this is a method to Beane's madness now, but okay, they didn't jump up to go get one of these dynamic running backs in Etienne and Harris. But hey, Le'Veon Bell is still out there. So,
and
wow,
the pick is in for the Raiders. It's Morig.
Yeah, so his slide finally ends. He was widely thought of the number one safety, and he's the third off the board.
Insane slide.
Yeah, that's a great pick for the Raiders.
That's a great pick. I mean, they need to trade Abrams now.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. That could be a draft day trade. We could see that happen by the end of the night or tomorrow, to be completely honest. That seems like something that could happen soon.
Yeah, you could trade him because he's not that good to me. He's overrated.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is. Mike Mayock is fixing his problem and going to get, a ball hawk safety, that can cover. Abrams can't cover. So that's the issue with that.
Yeah.
So 43.
Morig's rangy. He could play sideline to sideline. I mean, people are a little afraid he's a little vertical, but he could play sideline to sideline. He showed it. He covers the field. He's instinctual. He's not afraid to help in the run support at all. I mean, you could blitz with him. Yeah, he's a good safety. I thought he was far. Not that they're Holland and Grant aren't good safeties, but I thought he was far and away the most complete NFL ready safety in this draft.
Colin, as you're seeing all this unfold, like anything shocking, what stands out to you right now about the draft board?
I still am in awe that we're 11 picks in and JOK is still on the board.
Cowboys are up. I thought they were going to take him first.
Yeah,
maybe.
You said that yesterday. You're right.
They could go JOK here. They also, corner is a big need for them as well.
Yeah,
but
offensive line.
I don't know.
Corner, yeah, there's good corner. They could take Asante Samuel Jr. from us. They could go Dylan Reddins, Sam Cosmi. A lot of routes they can take right now.
Mm-hmm. Even like an offensive lineman would make sense for them because Zeke had no room to run last year. That could even be a fit right now.
Yeah, that's the tackle makes a lot of sense. Cosmi or Reddins here, but secondary needs help. Just defense in general. Anything but receiver, running back, or quarterback is a need for them right now.
Yeah. Let's see what it is.
This man is hyped up. I love it.
I know, right? Get over
I gotta
it.
this up.
He's thanking Jerry Jones.
That might be the most excited anyone's ever been to say Mike McCarthy.
Oh, they got the defensive back from Kentucky. Kelvin Joseph, cornerback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right,
Kelvin Joseph is good. A little lower than I had him on my board, but he's a good corner.
He's a good corner. I thought he was a third round guy, but with the cornerback class this year, it makes sense that he'd go in the second.
Yeah, he's got decent size. He's athletic. He's got I don't know. It's nothing.
Everything you're looking for.
Yeah, nothing really jumps out at you. Really good or really bad with him. So
he's like
a good
6'2", 6'3", right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a big corner. He's 6'2", 6'3". It's a lot of big corners in this draft, though. That's why I say it's a cornerback draft. There's gonna be a lot of guys that you ain't gonna know about, but one thing I can say, they're huge. Yeah, it's some cornerbacks out here with some size.
Yeah.
Like if feed to Melifonwu, 6'3", he's still on the board.
I hope we take him.
Yep.
He's my dream pick.
Jaguars already getting their next pick in.
And it's funny because all the cornerbacks seem to be really big in this draft class, except for Asante Samuel Jr., who seemed to be the one who was climbing draft boards the fastest over the past month or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, sometimes those be smoke screens too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the Jags took Lawrence and Etienne. What are we thinking here? protect them now? Go offensive line?
Go. I mean, Reddins, Cosme. I mean,
They gotta go defense. Jacksonville.
You could go deep. I mean, Ojulari is still on the board. JOK would be a fit in their defensive scheme. They have a lot of options here right now. It's a good spot for them to be in.
The top 4 players on my board right now are all defensive players between JOK, Ojulari, Asante Samuel Jr. and
It looks like the Jags reach on an offensive lineman that their fans are already rattling about.
Who? Wait,
Walker Little.
They got.
You hit it. They got to go get protect the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I just like about 5 players more than Walker Little.
I love Walker Little though.
There we go. Yeah. You know how I feel about Walker Little.
Yeah, Meerkat and I are big Walker Little guys. Yeah, another one of those guys, if he didn't opt out of the season, he probably would have been a first-round pick. There are just so many storylines like that from this year.
Number 50 on my draft board, and I said he would have been a top 15 guy had he played in 2019. I mean, he opted out of 2020, obviously, like a lot of players, not a big deal. But 2019, I believe he got hurt in the second game of the season. He showed incredible promise. He has amazing size. He's the recruit they went out to get to protect David Mills, who they thought was their next luck. I mean, he's good. If he's healthy, he's good. That's the thing. He's gonna need snaps. He's probably won't be a day one starter unless NFL just sticks to him in camp, which it might because he's got a great football mind. He's got the body. He's got the physical tools.
Yeah. If I'm the Bengals, I got to be pissed that Walker Little got taken the pick before me after I traded back. Maybe it is a reach. Maybe that's not the guy they wanted, but still. They didn't take an offensive tackle round 1. That's got to be what they do here.
Like Walker Little, if he didn't get hurt in 2019, would have been OT2 in this draft behind Sewell.
And he can play guard, too. He can play every position on the offensive.
He's massive. He's like 6'7". He's massive, but he can move, and that's the thing. Yeah, he's 6'7", 313, athletic, but he uses that his speed to help generate more power because he's not a physically strong freak. Not that he's weak or anything, but that he's a prototypical like new age NFL left tackle.
It's fun seeing the new age of positions come in. The big cornerbacks, the small, fast wide receivers. I love seeing the game change right in front of our eyes.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Some things I'm not sold on yet, but I'm always down for new.
Newer is better. Newer is better. Bengals. We're gonna have a little kid read the draft pick. This is gonna be fun.
Oh, nice. I like they're rattling off those picks quick.
Yeah, this is going way. I know that obviously the picks takes a lot less time on day 2, but this is nice. This is nice.
Yeah, they got 7 minutes in the 7th round, and then in the 3rd round it goes to 5. Because I'm telling you, look, I did not leave here. Last night till about 2:00 in the morning.
Wow.
2:00 in the morning, the draft pick was here, so they had to go through all the hoopla and the courses are being drafted and all that stuff, and then we got the opportunity to do Zoom. We did Zoom with him, obviously, and then we did an actual, just media conference room.
How do you like him, Mookie? How do you like Gregory? Just as a guy, just as a person, not necessarily his play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the vibe.
Took him. When he opened his mouth, he's well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, that comes off the bat. He's well spoken, so that's a character trait that the Bills brass looks for, and he's cerebral, and that's another thing. They loved his instincts. They love how he spoke about certain things in reference to football. And that's 2 on the list. So he checked all the boxes, man. And
this kid is real cute.
He is cute, yeah.
Jackson Carman.
Yeah, Jackson Carman's real cute.
I'm gonna hold off by calling him Baby Bruce, but we gotta wait and see.
All right.
He could potentially be Baby Bruce right now.
Roos.
Did he ever tell you guys what his Buffalo ties were? I mean, I think he said his mom was getting her degree.
Yeah, well, no, his mom and dad lived here for 5 years, and they moved to South Florida and had him. So his uncle, he still has an uncle that resides here. So
oh wow,
that's
okay,
pretty
cool.
interesting. I know his uncle is getting all the love right now.
I'm sure, and wherever he's from.
See, I guarantee there are Bills fans out there who delivered wings to Gregory Russo's uncle's house last night. There's no doubt.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
someone.
We was telling him like, well, Buffalo. He's like, no, I gotta play with no sleeves. I'm like, yeah, Bruce Smith didn't play with no sleeves. I was like, you might have some Vaseline on his arms though, but he didn't play with no sleeves. I said, you gotta put the Vaseline on, bro. You be all right. So you're gonna be wearing no sleeves. No sleeves. So I like the pick. I mean, like I said, it's not sexy, but it's solid as all heck. So you look at the production and it makes sense.
Yeah, like there's some things you can't coach, and two of those things are athleticism. Like some people are just naturally physically gifted, and another is intelligence. And he just seems like an incredibly smart individual. I was watching an old interview he did back in August after he opted out of the 2020 season with PFF College, and he basically was talking about how it's so easy for him to be reading the body language of the people he's going at on the offensive line. At the same time, while he's reading their body language, he's diagnosing everything going on in the backfield. And so his mind can work in multiple different ways at the same time. That's just extremely impressive.
Yeah, when you 6'6", you can operate and still keep your head up to see what's going on. Use that length to keep your guy at bay. And one thing I did like about what he did mention, he said, I really don't worry about, how many sacks and stuff I'll try to get or accumulate. I just focus on winning my battle each and every play. Yeah, I love that about a player. All you got to do is just win your battle. It's simple. Win your battle. Beat that guy in front of you every down.
Because sorry. I was gonna say, if you win that battle, that just that opens up everything else for the guys around you. If you don't get that big sack at the end, if you don't get the tackle for loss, someone else is going to, because they have to account for you. It's all about I always joke when I'm playing the video games or something like the NHL or Madden, front of the jersey, not the back. It's not about me scoring, it's about the team. But still, I love. It's rare that you actually find that mentality in professional athletes. There's a lot of me guys out there, and Russo is not that.
Right. Yeah, so they're gonna definitely do their due diligence and guess right, especially when it comes to a first round pick. So like I said, it's not sexy, but it's gonna pay off dividends. It just made our defensive line that much better.
Yeah, it is. And yesterday we had Robin Mundy on here a little bit, Mookie. I know you and her are really tight. She had nothing but fantastic things to say about you. I let her talk about it, but why don't you tell everybody listening what you and her are going to be starting to work on together while we're waiting for this next pick?
Well, we got some things in the works with the fan base. We're gonna start off with bringing to you Fan Base Weekly. Obviously just going to give you a rundown of what's going on with the Bills on a week-to-week basis and, try to interact with the fans too. I know we got a lot of Bills backers from everywhere. And, since that's the fan base, we need to use that as such to see what's going on and really tap into our fan base when it's, concerning our Bills. So we're going to be a little bit updated and breast, and hopefully we can have some of the players on as well. So, be on the lookout for that. And if you want to be a part of it or, man, just let us know. We don't have no problem, man. Everybody's welcome to be a part.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. I feel like you and Robin are two of the people who and I hold you guys in the same regard as Del Reed and just the way that you guys just radiate the Bills Mafia energy. So I'm really excited to see that go together and be put together when it's when you guys are finally putting that out. As we're waiting for the Chargers to pick here. Any indication of what they could do? I mean, that defense needs work. They did get Rashawn Slater in the first round, so they started to project Joe Burrow a little bit better. But what are we feeling for the Chargers here?
Well, they got to get probably an edge rusher. They lost Ingram, right? Did they replace him with a guy yet?
I'm not. I don't think so, actually. So could be Ojulari coming off the board here to them?
Ojulari or Sai, it could be JOK too, but you got that in Darwin James, kind of, sorta.
Yeah.
We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, picks come in right now.
Ooh, Asante Samuel.
Wow. So do we qualify this as a slide? Him falling down to 47? Is that a slide for Asante Samuel?
No, it's not a slide.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I don't think it was a slide for him. Actually, it's right on for him. It's right where you figure he will come off the board at. This is high. This is high as his draft stock was right here.
Mhm.
So this was his max. Anything else, he was like a third round. He was a third round projection, truthfully. But when you get those third round projections, they normally go mid to late. The round before. So like I said, it wasn't a reach by far for the Chargers. But I think they got him right at the right time.
Meerkat, are you shocked to see Asante Samuel fall this far, or is this about what you expect?
I expected this. I know he was a super popular pick to a lot of Bills Twitter guys, and this is no disrespect to them, but I was saying I wouldn't have liked him at 30 yesterday. That would have been an obvious reach unless he was high on Brandon Beane's draft board. I like Tyson Campbell more than him, which a couple people called me out for him. Well, who got drafted first? But, Asante Samuel Jr., I would have liked him to follow the Bills in this round. With 30, no chance. The fall doesn't make it makes a little bit of sense for me. I feel like he was getting a lot of too much hype heading into the draft.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way as well. Colin, as we're getting a little closer to the Bills here, is there someone that you're hoping continues to stay on the board for the Bills at 61?
Well, Melvin.
Yeah, Mookie says Melvin. I'm right there with him.
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying it every time you mention my name and I'm talking. JOK is going to stay here. Let's just keep letting him fall. I mean, at that point, best available, why not? But no, I don't think he shouldn't fall that far. If he did, then something must be really wrong and something must have happened with him that we have no idea. But, yeah, I mean, I like Iffy out of Q's, but we'll see what Bean does. Best available wouldn't hurt. If it's not Iffy there, then at any position, honestly, we could see them go receiver. Moore could be a very good fit for us at that 61 spot. But it's interesting just to see, these guys that we were kind of expecting to go a little higher haven't gone yet. And there's still a lot of potential on the board, and that's why we've seen teams already starting to trade back because they know that they can get their guy that they want later in the draft, which is pretty interesting to me.
And that's why it's been so cheap for everybody to move up. Mookie, I'd be remiss not to ask you, no one expected the Aaron Rodgers news yesterday at all. What do you make of that whole situation over there in Green Bay?
Well, Aaron Rodgers want to be like Tom Brady. He wants a new start. I mean, whenever you don't sit down and talk to your quarterback about the moves, and this is a trend now. These quarterbacks do deserve to know what's going on. What moves are y'all making for the franchise? If I'm supposed to be the franchise quarterback, I mean, I know I can't say, well, get this guy and get that guy, but value my opinion, and for you to come out first where they went wrong was you draft Jordan Love and don't even say, hey, Aaron, we know you're getting up there. We're thinking about drafting your heir apparent. What do you feel about that? No, they didn't do that. They just went out there and just drafted the guy with Aaron Rodgers thinking that they about to go get another offensive piece for him to, make the offense better. So that's where you rubbed you wrong at it. Then everything else just materialized from there. And it's to the point where, hey, he can make $20 million a year being a host on Jeopardy. So, yeah, now I'm ready to get the hell out of here. Get me out of here right now. His contract next year is over. And, so he's going to wait that out and go somewhere next year to the team of his choice.
And Jeopardy's his ticket to the West Coast. He wants to be a West Coast guy. That's his way out there.
Yeah, trading to Denver.
Yeah.
So do you think that because he was the guest host of Jeopardy that he has that leverage to say, I can go do this? And Green Bay's going to be like, I guess, if you really want to.
Hey, it's either that or I can go and be a sportscaster for Fox News for $40 million, like Tony Romo. So, the options are there. So, yeah. What Green Bay going to do now? Then you go and get another corner. You get Eric Stokes, where, like you said, you got all these you got Elijah Moores and Rondell Moore. You got all these dynamic guys still out there, to make your offense better. And you're not trying to make your offense better with the MVP, with the reigning MVP, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, he wants to get the hell out of there. If you're not trying to cater to him, cater to the guy once in a while. You know?
Yeah,
Cater
right.
to the guy.
He's won you Super Bowls. Like he's the guy that you should be catering things to. I mean, I did say earlier on the live stream today that I think that if they were going to go any position other than wide receiver or offensive line, cornerback made sense just after watching the playoff game last year and Kevin King. And, I've already talked about that ad nauseum. But now we see the 49ers doing their due diligence, getting some protection for their quarterback, Trey Lance. I'll be honest, I don't really know much about Aaron Banks, though, so I'm not the right person to speak on him.
He's not a guy I had in my top 75. He's not an awful pick. He's just a guy. I don't see his play transitioning how it was in college to the NFL. First team All-American, All-ACC. Pretty sure he was a captain. Big, strong guard. Mm-hmm. Not a sexy pick, but it's not a bad pick. Just get Fields protection. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Definitely does. Got Cardinals, Giants, and we're almost 10 picks away from the Bills here, and I just
JOK's in play here.
Man, for this pick and the last 17.
Let the card. I would have told you. I would have thought JOK would go in front of Zaven Collins in the first round.
Absolutely.
And now if the Cardinals, get JOK this late after taking Zaven Collins over him in the first round, that'd be interesting. Not that they really need linebacker, but JOK doesn't really have a position. They have it. They need a corner. That's right. And there's some good corners on the board right now. It could be a Stokes. It could be a Moore. Good guys.
Stokes is gone.
Yeah, Stokes.
Stokes is gone. Oh, my bad. I forgot. Yeah, that too much going on.
Damn it. Don't touch him. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Don't touch him.
Marcel said I'm going up for Samuel. So he said good pick too. Tom Telesco, St. Francis High School product. One of the few actually GMs to come out of St. Francis. There's a plug just to my former high school, so I had to get that comment in there. Cardinals taking
Rondolmore. Oh, more. Nice.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Give Kyler another weapon. I mean, they went out and got Connor. Now got D-Hop. Larry Fitz is still kicking it somehow.
Yeah.
Fake fist bump.
Kyler weapons.
Yeah.
They had the oldest wide receiver room in the NFL before this pick, I'm pretty sure. So this is a guy, he honestly, and Colin, the commenter before was right, that just between one is his personality, how he screams culture, but also he's like one of those Smurf receivers that McDermott's so ready to brag about, he would have been so great in the Bills offense. I do kind of wish that we came out with him, but at the same time, we know they did due diligence on a bunch of day 3 receivers. So,
we already got our Smurf and Isaiah McKenzie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was talking about it with Kevin earlier, he's just the type of guy. He's definitely undersized. He's gonna be an explosive slot weapon, though. He explodes off of the line of scrimmage the second the ball is snapped. He's a guy that gets behind you quick, can give you fits, especially crossing the middle of the field. Interesting pick, definitely. I like him a lot. And get Kyler weapons. He needs them.
Yeah, I mean, now you got D-Hop on one outside. They picked up A.J. Green, which I forgot, but looking now that they have Green now, if he can get back, who knows what's going to happen with him. But if A.J. Green, before he started getting hurt, was a top receiver in the NFL. There's no doubt about that. And if he can be even a little bit more than what he's been over the past 4 years with Cincy and get back to playing at a high level, and then have D-Hop obviously top 3 in the NFL probably, and you put Kirk, who hasn't been no slouch either, him and Moore, that's a high-flying offense that, I mean, Arizona they were on a hot streak last year, then that Bills game happened, and it seemed like they went downhill. Playing in that division, you got to be able to light the lamp, but especially on those defenses. So,
and what's interesting for me for the Cardinals is Rondell Moore's a guy who could kind of take on the Isaiah McKenzie role because look at their running backs. They have Chase Edmonds, James Conner, who knows what we can expect from him anymore. And then those are their top two. Jonathan Ward and Eno Benjamin fill out the depth chart. I feel like Rondolmore there's a path for him to be like a smaller Cordarrelle Patterson in that Arizona Cardinals offense. And that could be really interesting.
Kind of like a Ty Montgomery.
Yeah. Kind of like a Ty Montgomery. Yeah.
He's got shades of like Tyler Lockett to him.
Yeah, he does. A lot. It's just like so much burst in such a small package at 5'7" for Rondolmore. I guess Arizona just likes short guys. The short kings stay winning in Arizona, so good for them. I respect that. Now, the Giants. We thought the Giants would take JOK. So for the 18th time, JOK's in play here.
Ojulari could be a pretty good fit here for them as well.
I originally had him taking Kwity Paye at 11, so that edges a need for them. Ojulari falling, that's a dream. JOK in their defense, which low-key was good last year. It makes sense. Kadarius Toney was a head scratcher for me, though. I'm not going to pretend I know what's going through Dave Gettleman's mind.
I think he was just so rattled that he traded back for the first time in his career that he didn't know what to actually do with the draft pick.
Yeah, like, buddy, you should have traded back into the 20s or something. Like, gotten even more.
Mm-hmm. Mookie, what do you make of the Giants? Obviously, they've kind of headlined the free agency period. How do you like what they did for Daniel Jones?
The Kadarius Toney pick, he's an electric guy. He's he's kind of like a Sterling Shepard. He's kind of like the same guy, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand. I don't know. That's a head scratcher pick for me.
Yeah.
He kind of does the same things that Sterling Shepard does.
Mm-hmm.
They got Darius Slayton, and who else they have at receiver?
They brought in Galladay.
They got Kyle Rudolph now.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you do need those those dynamic pieces because Sterling Shepard can't stay healthy. So you go get a dynamic piece, a gameplay.
Mookie, no.
Oh no, we lost Mookie. It's all right though.
Mookie from us? I knew I hated that city. God damn. I'm sure he'll try to get back.
Pick is in though. I mean, it could be Ojulari. Obviously, it could be a lineman. We got Mookie back. There we go.
Oh, I was worried. They can't take you away from us, Mookie.
Yeah, so he kind of like strike me as the same guy, but when you get a healthy Saquon Barkley back, that's a guy that draws a lot of attention. And, Ingram, he's definitely a guy that draws a lot of attention. So you leave a guy like Kadarius Toney one-on-one with somebody, he's going to win that matchup. So, he's a dangerous piece. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a dangerous piece. And you got to keep up with the Joneses in the NFC East, too. So, he with the ball in his hands, he can make plays. So they need more guys that, that has playmaking ability, You put the ball in Saquon Barkley hands, and the probability of him popping it or getting the big play are high. So he has that kind of star power as well. He's just a shorter guy.
And I think the most exciting part of the live stream yesterday, there was first of all the people who joined us yesterday, they made it. It was a fantastic show. But the best part was when the Patriots selected Mac Jones, and that was the most excited the group got all night. Are you happy that we get to face off against Mac Jones in New England? Like on it, we talked about a lot of the quarterbacks earlier, but I mean, do you see anything more than an Andy Dalton or Matt?
Ojulari just went off the board.
Yep.
Wow.
Finally, good for him. Good for him.
He deserves. I mean, I don't know if he deserves to go to New Jersey. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy.
No, but still, I'm just happy his slide is over. When you have a talented football player like that and you see them slide, it sucks.
And it's so hard on them. I can't imagine the emotional toll that takes just thinking that you're a top 20 pick in the NFL draft, and then now you're 50. But good for him. He's going into a defense that needs help, and if he's that impact player, he could be a household name for them. We got
Yeah, 100%.
Washington coming up next. I said the same thing yesterday. Is JOK the guy that Ron Rivera wants to make his Luke Kuechly in Washington? Can it finally happen now? Wait, oh no, they took Jamin Davis yesterday. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pick is in, so
Yeah.
whoever it is, they couldn't wait to put that pick in. So yeah, this could be JOK right here.
Like offensive line, maybe. Like it seems like
I don't know.
I don't think Washington has that bad of a football team right now.
I feel
Completely
like
honest.
who's their other receiver they have besides McLaurin?
They got Curtis Samuel.
Okay, yeah. Then receiver, I was thinking receiver only because I could only think of McLaurin, but yeah, I like Samuel a lot too.
Or do they go quarterback? Do they go Kellen Mond or Kyle Trask? Like, is that what we could see? Could we see the first, second round quarterback off the board here to him? That could be it. No one better to learn from than Ryan Fitzpatrick. And those guys wouldn't take the starting job from him by the end of the year. You'd think.
Do you think they go quarterback and get Trask right here?
That's what I'm kind of feeling. It just seems right. Like they don't have I don't think they have a lot of holes on it.
The pick was in soon when the Giants selected all the yards.
Yeah, so they knew exactly what they were doing.
I had Washington taking JOK in the first round in my mock draft.
The Browns traded up.
Browns traded up to where?
Samuel Cosme.
Samuel Cosme.
All right. I liked him more than Leatherwood, who was a first round pick.
I thought Samuel Cosme could be someone to go to the Chiefs if they kept the 31st pick. That's where I really thought he would go.
Yeah, he's nothing like crazy exciting. He's your typical like early second round tackle that you see a lot every draft. But not a bad pick there. I mean, why not shore up that offensive line? It needs it.
Mm-hmm. And Ryan Fitzpatrick's old. He does need the protection. So and yeah, Cosme's not a standout prospect, but if he develops how he should, is 6'5", 7'8", 314 pounds, he could be a reliable tackle. And those are hard to come by. So he's probably the end of the first tier of offensive tackles, or the first two tiers, I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Creed Humphrey's still out there, so he's an internal offensive line, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah.
And now adding to my best available, Melvin.
That's your best available right now?
Well, no, he just got bumped up because Cosme got taken out of the top 10. Yeah, Cosme. I had Cosme at like 38 or 37 there. And coming in at 57 now. Iffy. People love Iffy.
I have Iffy at 50 on mine. And I still have a lot of people ahead of him, so I guess my big board's gone to shit.
Yeah, JOK, Terrace Marshall Jr., I'm surprised at his slide, but I'm also not at the same time. Yeah. Dylan Radins, maybe people are a little down on him being a FCS guy. Basham, good D-line, but D-line's going to be everywhere right now. Exactly. Tutu Atwell, hand up, I'm way higher on him than 95% of people, so. Mm-hmm. But he's up there.
What did the Browns trade up for? They don't – is it – offensive line? Are they taking Creed Humphrey?
They're going to take Wyatt Davis, so they have Davis? Wyatt Teller and Wyatt Davis. And Wyatt at guard, yeah.
I love any opportunity to make like a Wyatt and Wyatt LLC, like those like Johnson and Johnson. I love. I always have those as like my fantasy team names.
So this trade was interesting. Cleveland gave up 59 and 89. They get 52, but they also get 113.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
That's an interesting trade. I'm not off the top of my head, not sure how the values align there, but that's an interesting trade.
If there's one person I know who could tell us off the top of his head, it's Ryan Sullivan from Buff Fanatics. Yeah, I'm talking Sports Rock 2 on Twitter. Terrible cookie takes, but his draft knowledge is really, really good. Meerkat, what do you think they do if you're Cleveland?
If I'm Cleveland right now, I mean, I want to say JOK. Like, I just want to say with every person, every team, I want to say JOK.
You just want
nice little.
Did you want me to skip asking Colin what he wanted? Because
oh yeah, right, exactly. It's just like I don't know exactly what they're gonna do. A receiver's not out of the question here. There's some good guys. Offensive line, you could shore up defense. Cleveland is a good football team. I'm not saying that they don't have needs and that this is a luxury pick, but I can see them going luxury with it.
Yeah, I feel like they've earned the right to. Like they were, as we've said many times, they were a Chad Henne scramble and a flea flicker away from making it to the AFC Championship game last year. So, who's this guy dancing though? Macho?
It's Macho Man Ric Flair.
That's Macho.
I don't know
Man?
if it's actually. I'm not a wrestling guy.
It's Macho Fan. This just sounds like
Macho Fan Dick Lair.
He just wants to be Pancho Villa so badly.
You know, a pick. I mean, I know they run. No, I don't even. I'm not even gonna say it because it sounds dumb. I could see them going with one of the tight ends here. You know, they love athletic tight ends with like a Brethren Jordan or something. But their tight end room is so deep, it's just uninspiring because. You know, they have Hooper, who was all right last year. Harrison Bryant was a pick last year. And then Njoku and even Stephen Carlson's not the worst tight end for in the NFL. So
I'll take your word for that.
But like, I could see them going. I really can. I don't know. And corner makes a lot of sense too.
Mm-hmm. Let's see it. Oh, we're gonna have a high school kid announce it. Very good. How? Oh, I got spoiled. I got spoiled by Sal.
Don't say it. Sal Capaccio. Sal Capaccio. I've been staying off the timeline until like right after a pick happens. I'll check it for like 15 seconds after it's announced on the screen. Usually enough buffer time.
I just have the like my draft board in front of me on my Twitter right now, and I have Twitter notifications on for Sal. So,
yep.
I was like, yep.
Don't say it.
We're not saying anything.
Don't. This guy kind of looks like Degenerate Al.
What?
I see it a little bit. I don't know.
What?
The guy announcing the pick? I see it. Maybe it's just because of like the facial hair and stuff reminds me of him. What is it? Okay. There we go. There we go. We can all take a deep breath.
Oh my god!
Now I got to think of who I want for other teams now. That's okay.
Colin's like, damn it! I have to put thought into this at this point now.
My top player left available. I had him number 16 overall on my draft board. Obviously fell because he's just a tweener.
Yep,
he doesn't have that set NFL position right now.
No, he doesn't. And I mean, like, he's such an athlete. You don't find linebackers that can cover receivers like he can. Like, he can keep up with slot receivers as a big-bodied linebacker. And that's so hard to do. Like, I was really hoping we'd get him. I know that the Bills don't really use three linebackers that much. But on the rare occasion that we do, and also we saw, and I wrote about this earlier on TrainWreckSports.com, last year after Milano and Edmonds got hurt, we had more snaps between A.J. Klein and that Bad News Bears group of linebackers than we should have been comfortable. Like, honestly, that was way too much. Getting him in there to at least try to stop the Travis Kelce's of the world, the Darren Wallers, I thought he would have been a great fit. But you know what? He shouldn't have been here at this point. So that's like when that's like if Patrick Mahomes falls to the 5th round in your fantasy draft, and you're like, oh, I would have taken him around 6. Like, you don't deserve it.
Yeah. That's the last huge like value I had left on the board that really slipped. And now if you look at my best available based off my big board, it's Terrace Marshall at 35, you know, and pretty much everything after 30 everything after 20 was a toss up in this draft. Between 20 and 60, you could have randomly generated what picks happen, and a lot of them would have made sense.
Yeah, I mean, our power rankings or our big boards don't look extremely similar right now. I have Baron Browning, the linebacker from Ohio State, up there as my number one, but Marshall's right behind him at 33. And then I see you have Redun's as your third ranked. I do as well. Yeah, and we both have Melvin coming in at the tail end. So
I have an Ohio State linebacker coming up soon, but it's not a Browning. Actually, it's Warner, but he's not correct here yet. There's good football players that be had. I'm not saying there isn't. But this is really where your GM comes out and shines in this type of draft where so many question marks. There's a lot of talent still there. This is where Brandon Bean just shows why he's the big baller. This type of position.
Did the Titans take a receiver here? I think that makes the most sense.
I had taken Bateman. I mean, I like them to take a receiver. They need a receiver. Humphreys is their one right now. Another team, watch out. I just said about Cleveland, even though it didn't make sense. This could be a tight end spot, whether it be Freermuth, whether it be Brevin Jordan, whether it be Tommy Tremble. They lost Jonnu Smith. I think their tight end one right now is Firsker.
Love that name. Love that name, man.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. If you believe in that offense with Derrick Henry and you believe in Ryan Tannehill, you have to get him weapons right now. Do it. Right now.
And something else you guys should be doing right now. It is 8:42, so maybe not right now, but for tomorrow, any day, especially Sabres game days, you got to get some food from Amherst Ale House, all right? As we're waiting for this Titans pick to come in, just have to say their phone number is 716-625-7100. Their pizza tots are fantastic, and they've been serving our country. They've been serving our city since 2005, almost nonstop. So thank you to Amherst Ale House for sponsoring the Crowd Assist podcast. Make sure you guys make them a part of your Sabres game night traditions. And, any night that there isn't a Sabres game night, the food's damn good. They deserve your business. Dylan Redun's North Dakota State offensive tackle going to the Titans.
There we go.
I thought he'd be a little bit of a better fit in a team that has a Trey Lance type of a quarterback, right? Like
he can move. That's what he was. Trey Lance's guy. He can move. He didn't have the best competition. That's one reason why I think he dropped. But he's got all the talent there to be a top, tackle for a team. So we'll see how that plays out for him. I think they should have gone with a weapon, but you need to work on that offense. I think the Titans have a lot of holes, but
they have a lot of
offense is a big one. Looking forward to the Bills pick, guys. Now that the JOKs and stuff aren't clouding your judgments. No Asante Samuel Jr., which I'm kind of happy about. Give me who the Bills should be looking at right now. That's name is not iffy. I'm not going to say his whole name because I have trouble pronouncing it, and it's a joke. Yeah,
I don't think Creed Humphrey will be there, but he would be my pick. I think he's going to go to this. There's a 55. I already said they took Najee Harris, knowing they could get a tackle or an offensive lineman at any spot in the second round at a good value. Creed Humphrey should also probably be in consideration for the Seahawks too, the very next pick. So I don't see him falling there, but that would be kind of be my dream scenario for that. Colin, I'm going to pass it to you while I look at my big board and figure out who else I would like.
I really looking ahead at these next 7 or 8 picks ahead of us. Not a lot of these teams need a receiver. I think Indy here could go with Marshall, but Steelers, they don't need one unless they really need. But Washington, Juju, and Claypool are good, solid 3 receivers. Yeah. Seattle, DK and Lockett. Maybe they go with another guy, but Rams have Woods, Kupp, Cooks, Chiefs. You never know what the Chiefs are going to do for that offense. But, Panthers might be the only option ahead of us and maybe the Saints. But, Marshall could be a guy that's there. I like Atwell, too, out of Louisville. But I think receiver could be, if it's best available, you take a shot on it and you add more to that receiver room that you're just going to scare teams flat out with the ability that you have. You can spread out 4 receivers and have a guy in the backfield and have Josh in the shotgun. And you have to worry about all 4 guys. You have to worry about Josh's legs. Our offense is already scary. And if we can add another piece to it, why not?
Yeah, I wanted to point out, I just added him to my best available. I think I like Iffy. I'll be happy with the pick. It's a popular pick for the Bills. My bottom three right now are all cornerbacks. This is where you get into that like heavy cornerback, not a project guy range, but you're not looking for CB2 so much right now. Is you're just adding a good corner. And if I think if you go with someone like that, Elijah Molden, who I just added to the best available, I have him 59. I love him. It's another thing where he doesn't have bad size. He's almost 5'10", but if I'm looking for that CB2 mold. I want at least like 6 feet on this guy we take. But Molden, I wouldn't, be disappointed with it all. He is, he has the pedigree, comes from a football family. But like you hear this guy talk about the game of football, playing football, he gushes. He is in love with playing football. He wants to be on the field. He wants to be making plays. He wants to be the best player can be. He fits the culture. He fits the process. He's a guy that, really doesn't do a lot of things wrong, but he doesn't stick out to you in a lot of ways either, other than his like passion and love for football and his drive on the field. He's not afraid to get involved in any play, put his body on the line, do what he needs to do. He's a pure football player, and I think that's kind of who I'm setting my sights on right now.
I'm going to throw in – sorry, go ahead, Colin.
I was going to ask Meerkat, what are your thoughts on St. Just from Minnesota, the CB? He's got the same build as Iffy, 6'3", 200.
I like the build there. Like I want that. I've been saying, I want that 6 foot to 6'4" secondary piece. Not that it's a necessity. He makes a lot of sense. I think the Bills, especially Sean McDermott getting involved in it, have done their scouting on this range of secondary that we're going to have available to us in the second or third round, because there's a ton of talent there, and they're just trying to find. It's whether they're trying to find a fit guy where they can, try to get their CB2 or a guy on the field immediately, or if they're going to be like, all right, we're going to take the best secondary player available, which would be like a mold in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no way. It's happened. The Maniac is here. What? No pigtails tonight, just his normal beautiful self and that classic Sabres jersey. Maniac, we're 7 picks away from the Bills here. How are you feeling on Friday night?
I'm feeling good. There's nothing trivial about where the Bills are at right now. I mean, they've worked to be in this position. They're kind of letting the board come to them, it seems like, in this 2021 NFL draft, dealing from a position of power. And ultimately, you know what? I used to get mad at people speculating, trust in B and everything like that. But you know what? Speculate away. No. You can't do anything for the next 2 weeks. What's going on, Wake?
I mean, I knew we wouldn't take him anyways, but
if he had to?
No.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite guys in the entire draft, Dayo Odeyingbo. He is probably the most versatile defensive end to come out in the class this year. He can literally do it all. He can be a 1-tech. He can be a 3-tech. He's the nose tackle. He rushes from the edge. He stops the run. He gets to the quarterback. He can make tackles in the open field. He chases people down from behind them up the field going towards the end zone. He is one of the great specimens at defensive end in this draft class. If we didn't get Gregory Russo, he was the guy I wanted in this round between now and the 4th.
He looks a little bit like Russo here and there with where he lines up in different spots along the line and then just kind of has a relentless, speedy attack. A little less refined, a little more raw, which, I mean, Gregory Russo is raw as, some ground hamburger, but not the...
He's raw.
It's not a bad, raw isn't a bad thing, folks, especially when you have a coaching staff like ours.
And so Creed Humphrey here at 55, is that what we're all bracing for, is for me to get heartbroken 2 picks in a row?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, who knows? The Steelers are a weird team in the draft. I don't know what they're going to do.
Look at that branding change on the fly. Look at that. We're keeping on your toes here.
I'm basically an idiot. That's all you got to say about that. Pretend it didn't happen.
That's why we keep you around. It's in the clause. It's in the contracts.
Well, I'm keeping everybody at home awake. You get into these last third of these rounds, everyone tends to be asleep. Let's be a little smelling salts. Let's be a little awake at the wheel here.
Someone say smelling salts.
I can see this being a corner right now, too. Aaron Robinson is a guy I was looking at that makes sense as a fit for their secondary, but I was just saying, there's a lot of guys available right now for secondary help. Molden, Iffy, Robinson. You start getting into like the Hamza and Azodines, guys like that.
Let's see who it is.
Franco.
Oh my God, it's a tight end.
No, that's disgusting.
It's Pat Freiermuth.
That is the most Steelers pick in the history of Steelers. I thought Najee, a first round 230-pound running back, was a Steelers pick. Tight end out of Penn State. That fits the mold right there.
He's not a good blocker.
He's not a good blocker. He's not an elite athlete. He's I don't know. What are you going to get out of him? You're not going to get out of Vance McDonald. Let's be real.
I mean, no. Okay, I'll be
That's
doing
mean.
Vance
That's mean.
Vance McDonald, Vance Refrigeration. I will be doing that dance all year long. My dad is going to be so pissed. If he calls me, I'm putting him on speakerphone because I know he's not happy about this. Wait, no. He's a Penn State fan. Never mind. He'll be okay. Never mind. Sorry, Dad.
And the thing is, you guys are hating on him. I saw as I was scrolling through the timeline so briefly earlier, Talbot said the Bills were looking at him, and they were the guy he heard from was smitten about Freeman going for Buffalo. Buffalo really liked him, so it's kind of interesting.
I'm
happy
awful at evaluating tight ends, but I just
it's one of the toughest, hardest positions to try and judge because.
Yeah, I'm so down on this tight end class too, outside of Pitts, because it's just you can have any of the other ones in any order with Brevin Jordan, Tommy Tremble, and Freeman. And Freeman goes first, probably makes the most sense. But Brevin Jordan, he's the most exciting tight end left right now.
I feel like Steelers just love taking people that go to Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania schools. Right?
Yeah, no, they're weird. They look for like culture guys and stuff, and by culture they mean either growing up in like downtown Pittsburgh or in the suburbs of PA.
He's a guy.
It's a Pittsburgh pick. He's a guy. It kind of fills a need.
He is a Pittsburgh fan too, so yeah. I'm very sorry, Mr. Morcell, for that. But hopefully the Bills make us a little more proud. In about 5 picks, we could probably see that pick coming. By 9:15, we could be out of here. I said 9 o'clock we'd be done. 9:15, we'll be out of here after the Bills pick. So days are numbered.
I'm so hungry and my eyes are burnt. Please hurry up.
You need me turn around and just like eat these meatballs? I've been doing this the entire time. I didn't eat dinner before I got in here.
I got myself a rotisserie chicken and calling my name. I usually cut them up real nice, make a sandwich or something. Tops just they never stop. Wegman's a little far. Lemon pepper, yes. I'm probably just going to go primal at some point and just dive into that thing. Take the whole chicken, just like an angry dog.
Clock's running down on Seattle here, so it's possible we're seeing a trade.
This is running low.
It's 9, 8, 7, 6. I'm the only one doing it.
I bet Seattle liked Freeman.
You're ahead of me.
Because tight end's a huge need for them. What? And now they're like scrambling. They're like, shit. Oh, it's in. Okay.
Yeah.
If they go tight end, it's a scramble. But I don't know. That makes sense. They might have been like looking for a trade immediately after that happened.
There should really be an actual punishment for the pick, like the time expiring. I've never seen it happen, but like if that were to happen, you should have to go back 5 spots, right?
Well, there is a penalty.
The
other team gets to go. You get to go if you're the other team. It happened. I think it happened in like 2004 or something. Some team was at 7, and I think they couldn't find anybody to trade back, so they literally just didn't pick. And the other 2 teams like took their guys, and then after the 2 teams took their guys, because the other teams ran up to the thing to get their guys. And then after the 2 teams went, the Vikings, again, I believe it was, went up and ran their back. So the draft rolls on if your time runs out.
I mean, is there a faster way to get fired in any profession than running out of time for a pick in the NFL draft? I mean, like, you don't get fired from Trainwreck Sports for jack shit. So, like, I can't speak for our organization, but
you get a raise if you start doing that kind of stuff around Trainwreck Sports. But
yeah, no, the incentivization system that we have here definitely needs some looking into. But I'm not, that's neither here nor there. I'm not on the HR team. That's all Al. That's all Generate Al.
Has there been a pick announced yet?
It's in, but it's not announced.
It said it was in on my screen, and now we're at 000. So
000.
I don't know.
It's on my. It says it's in on my TV, and that's what I'm trusting.
You should have to be at the podium announcing the pick by the time it hits 0. So like that's just not fair. I got things to do. Okay, I don't have anything to do. I'm not going to act like I do, but it's what it is. I mean, again, Creed Humphrey could be in play here. Maybe. I mean, like. They have a lot of on that Seattle team. They could take any position in quarterback.
This tight end scramble just makes a lot of sense in my mind now. I think they might have really liked Freeman because tight end's a big need for them, and that gets taken the pick right before him, throws every wrench in their plans. They weren't expecting that. Who knows? Maybe they tried trading out of it real quick, then made a selection late. Seattle needs secondary help. There's good secondary on the board. They need a lot of help. Seattle is a flawed team.
Let's see what it is. Dwayne Eskridge.
Okay.
Receiver.
And that's Eskridge, too. I like Eskridge. Kelvin was talking about him. I mean...
I love Eskridge.
Yeah, good for them.
On Mac. Like, Mac represent there. He's going to be going to play with Wilson. Man, but like, how?
I mean,
do they know that you need quarterbacks and wide receivers?
They need a third receiver. They outside of Metcalf and Lockett, it's bad. Their third receiver is Freddie Swain, followed by guys like Penny Hart and Cody Thompson. They needed a receiver. But at the
same time, like, okay, he's coming from the MAC, so usually that's a big knock. That's why Jarrett Patterson's not a day 2 pick, right? Because he's coming from the MAC. So I feel like you can get someone of the similar value later. And also, you can get someone later that Russell Wilson can elevate. It's not like they have a rookie quarterback who needs a top 2-round receiver to come in.
He's a good fit for them, though, too, because they needed like a receiver who could play the 2 role and let Lockett thrive as the third slot guy. Exactly. Yeah. They've been forcing Lockett into a perimeter role, which he's good at because he's fast, but he is made to just be the best slot receiver in the NFL. That's what he was made to be. And if he can't play the slot, that can't happen. And so I guess this pick makes sense. It fits for them. It was a need. I like Eskridge. There are guys I like more, but not an NFL GM.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, so let's look at the teams here that are between now and the Bills. The Rams, I don't believe they need a corner. They got really good play from their corners last year from some really unexpected guys, and they were on cheap short term, but they're still on contract for this year. So I think we can count them out from taking Iffy. Kansas City, maybe, but their cornerbacks did a bang-up job against the Bills in both times, and they were shorthanded both times last year, so they don't need it. Carolina, they took J.C. Horn, right? Is that who they came away with in the first round, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, okay. And then who's at 60?
Saints.
The Saints? So the Saints, I mean, they have Marshawn Lattimore. They might not feel the need to take a cornerback. So if he could probably be there for the Bills at 61.
Yeah, if he makes sense. Like I said, I like Molden a little more if he's there. But between Iffy, Molden, and Robinson, I'm completely fine with any of those guys. There's good. This is another stupid take, but there's good D line left. There's still good edge left too, and you really might be losing Addison and Hughes next year. And then you look at what you have, even with Russo and Epinesa, it's not pretty. And there's guys here with a little, like, I don't know, like a Ronnie Perkins or somebody like that's available. Basham. There's guys. There are guys that could be on the defensive line and they could love, and just throwing it out there. I mean, interior. I think it's quarterback, corner. If it's not corner, it's going to be interior offensive line. Going Quinn. I can't say his last name. Miniers.
Oh, that's the storyline I wanted to talk about. Thank you, Meerkat. So there is possible history being made tonight. Quinn Miners from Wisconsin Whitewater. Lance Leipold too soon. he could be the highest drafted D3 player to come out of D3 college in NFL history. If he gets taken by the Bills, he ties Ali Marpet from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for that.
Yep.
So I could
Hobart.
From Hobart. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, he would make sense for the Rams. He would make sense for Kansas City, who's rebuilding an offensive line. He would make sense for Carolina, who's trying to protect Darnold. He would make sense for the Saints, too, who don't have a great offensive line anymore. So we could see history being made in the next 4 picks here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Creed, I think it's got to be corner. I think it's got to be interior O-line. It's got to be one of those two with the talent that's still here. I mean, they have their pick of the litter. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have Wyatt Davis, you have Miners, and you have Creed Humphreys still. It's like
Creed Humphrey. I remember in the first mock draft I did, Creed Humphrey I took in the first round.
Yeah, he's a good player, and he's just, I don't know. It's a weird slipping. The whole interior class this year is weird, very weird. People are undervaluing it because of other positions being so deep and just a weird year total for scouting offensive linemen. You see Sewell, who has his question marks, just be a bona fide top 10 pick with everybody because, he was going to be if he entered the draft last year and he didn't, and then he opts out, and, so people are kind of almost going off like previous tapes and stuff like that too a lot of the time, which is for a lot of positions in this draft. But with linemen, that's a weird thing because you want to see how they develop. That's an age where your body is still growing at a fast rate. You want to see how they handle that growth, if they're getting natural strength, things like that. Just linemen and tight ends are two things I'm not great at evaluating myself.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see what the Rams do here.
Very well could be going for Humphrey here, I think, personally. I mean, that offensive line.
Atwell.
I told everybody I was high on Atwell.
Wow. And I just said I don't think they go receiver. They have – they don't have –
Atwell 45th on my board.
They lost Josh Reynolds. They did lose Josh Reynolds.
And they lost –
yeah.
They picked up Deshaun Jackson. They cut Kupp and Woods. Huh.
I mean, he's going to forget about the Rams a lot. That means Tutu Atwell is going to be paired with Matthew Stafford in the Rams offense. I mean, the Rams, I feel like, we talk about so much on the cap. We talk about almost every team in the NFL at some point. We have not once touched on the Rams in this entire offseason. How did we not, Meerkat, we talked about the biggest risers in football. We didn't bring up the Rams once in that episode.
Yeah, I brought up as a faller the Lions for losing Matt Stafford. And, forget about the Rams as a riser. I love Matt Stafford. I really do. Hopefully he, new environment, all of that, change of scenery, new coaching staff. I hope he succeeds. I like their prospects. I still think, defense is great. That offense, though, a lot of question marks.
Yeah, definitely.
I like Cam Akers, though. I do. Yeah. And, I liked Van Jefferson, but this pick might be them saying, hey, we're not huge on him after his rookie season. That was a bit disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there weren't a lot of targets to go around for him, but hey, that's how it goes. You have to earn the targets as a rookie. That's the name of the game in the NFL.
Man. So Kansas City now.
Yeah.
Their first pick.
It is their first pick. That's right. And technically, the first pick did get spent on an offensive lineman, Orlando Brown from Baltimore, which I didn't like that trade for Kansas City myself. Mel Kiper is saying the team needs our defensive end and linebacker. I think they need to do more on that offensive line. I don't think there's any way around it.
Intern Adam chiming in the all caps. By the way, Intern Adam graduated this weekend. Congratulations, Intern Adam.
Shout out Intern Adam.
Congrats, Intern Adam.
Hold on.
They always say congratulations.
Follow us on TikTok. We are on TikTok now, Trainwreck Sports. It's very simple. We did not lose the O in the lawsuit over on TikTok like we did on Twitter. So very easy to find. Also getting on Reddit now. We're really branching out here with Trainwreck Sports. Thanks to Outlet Liquor. Maybe some of them with Perry's in the works. They were responding to the cap a little bit earlier. Who knows? But there's better days ahead for Trainwreck Sports. I feel like we say that every single day.
This train never stops. I mean, everybody knows that.
Yeah,
it's just picking up a bit of steam.
Mm-hmm. Especially with all the people we had on here yesterday. Maniac, you were on the live stream for pretty much the entire 5 hours yesterday. I mean, like I think that was the most fun I've ever had on a Trainwreck show in my 3 years with this group of people.
I mean, you said it yourself. It seems like every day we say it's just because we keep doing more and more. There's really a rolling thunder aspect to it. We could go on it forever, but the people are really seeing it. I mean, it's amazing to see, 3 or 4 live shows a night now. I mean, it's crazy the entertainment value you're getting. I think we're going to be bringing some new stuff to the table in the near future as well. So a lot to be excited for as 2021 rolls on.
And meatballs, going to be brought to the table for sure. At least
and you know what? You know what Justin Timberlake says? It's gonna be May.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy I have the ability to mute you.
Well, and also I won't do that on our TikTok if you follow us. So if you follow us, I won't do that.
And shout out Colin. Colin's been going off over on the TikTok. So the TikTok. Jesus Christ, I sound 50.
Is really popping off on the TikTok.
Popping off on the TikTok. Nick Bolton. He was the last person in my top 10 available right now. So now I got to go ahead and update that. Thank you, Kansas City, for giving me some work to do. But to me, he's just a guy.
Bolton creeping up, yeah.
He's not like a great linebacker prospect, but they've. I don't really know. I like
Jabril Cox a lot more. I do like
Jabril Cox more. I have him 9 spots ahead of him. Carolina, New Orleans, and then your Buffalo Bills. With the way the board is right now, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see the Bills trade back. And I don't want to be the guy to say that, but it just seems like there's so much value there. It would make sense,
Even if it's just a few picks, try to get that 4th rounder you're missing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or you fleece someone, a sketchy team with a 2nd next year. A WFT, a team that could finish in that top 40 of overall picks.
That's what's always fun when I'm doing the franchise on Madden is going into the standings and seeing who sucked, so I can fleece them and get 5 first-round picks in a deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do think my time in Madden has prepared me for draft coverage. Would you agree, Meerkat? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's very realistic.
So when Madden came out this year, I'm not kidding. This happens every year with me in my mock drafts. I get a quick look at prospects as the season's starting, people who'd actually watch for it, because on Madden, and this year especially, we were heavy into it, you can import created draft classes into your franchise from online, and there's companies like the football guys and stuff who put a ton of time and effort into this, making prospects based off of what actual projections and stuff are, their real size and everything. And you'd be surprised how the drafts play out very similarly in the past few years to how they do in these Madden ones, but this comes out in August, and so then you play this franchise mode. As dumb as this all sounds, you play it and you get a look at these guys, and you can import up to a few years of draft classes, get a future look at people. But it's a good way to just get familiar with names and stuff early in the year as the college football season started, see who is pegged to be those type of guys to watch out for.
Yeah, Rob Ryan said that he is fully sold on Zach Wilson because he drafted him in the franchise in December, and he was elite. Yeah, and thank you for the kind words about the show last night. Yeah, it was great. Last night was one of the best shows. Was last night the most guests we've ever had in a single show?
Yeah.
I lost count.
Except for maybe TT200.
Yeah, except for maybe that. But
and we ran 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, when you look at Talbot was on for a half hour. Perino was on for 20 to 30 minutes. He had Dell on for those. I mean, people were staying for a long time.
All pack, yeah.
Those weren't just Kramer-esque pop-ins.
The pick is in, folks. What are the Panthers doing here at pick 59? Edge makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of places to go for them right now, though.
Edge.
Even QB. I mean, they picked up.
I was about to say
your option, but
what if it's Trask?
Looking at their roster, their backup PJ Walker,
Will
Greer.
No. No, there is no Philip PJ Walker allowed here. The absolute best quarterback to come out of the XFL. Houston Roughnecks lit it up. Him and Cam Lewis connection, absolutely unstoppable. I'm rooting heavy for PJ Walker. He's like my dude.
So they don't go QB here then. If you're Meerkat's the GM, you're not drafting a QB ever again.
Get out of here. Yeah. It's PJ Walker's team.
Them going QB just doesn't make sense because then they would have spent 4 picks. Let's call it 3 because they got the 6th back for Teddy Bridgewater. They'd spent 3 picks in one offseason on one position when the rest of their team really isn't that good to begin with. That's what doesn't make sense for them taking a quarterback to me. I think they should do 1 year all in on Sam Darnold. They have that 2nd and the 4th next year that they can trade up if they need to get their guy. Like I hate when teams do the washy quarterback situations. Like just who knows if Sam Darnold's good? We saw the Adam Gase effect when Ryan Tannehill finally got away from him. Realistically, it's probably going to end up the same way. So just go all in on Darnold for 1 year. What's the worst that could happen?
Get him a guy here. Maybe you go receiver, get a 3rd receiver along with Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. I mean, even tight end here. Their number 1 tight end is Dan Arnold. Like, I don't know. No offense to you, Meerkat. I don't know if you're a huge Dan Arnold guy, so I don't want to insult you here. But
no, we're towing some lines. We are towing some lines.
Well, I think Robbie Anderson might be gone after this year. And, they lost Curtis Samuel. I like DJ Moore, but he's a guy who needs a solid receiver across from him. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense because if you look at the depth chart after the top 2, it's David Moore, it's Brandon Zylstra, it's guys like that. It's not inspiring at all for Sam Darnold. And so why not add another receiver here if you think, Sam Darnold could do something this year, if you really want to see if he could be your franchise quarterback. As crazy as that sounds, I still am kind of in the camp Sam Darnold got the short end of the stick in New York and flashed a lot of arm talent. Maybe he puts it all together, but he needs the pieces.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they started it with – well, actually, no. In our mock draft, I had them taking Rashawn Slater. I thought that they would go tackle in the first round. So them going cornerback was a little shocking, but let's see. The pick is in.
Beat Terrace Marshall.
Wow. You can't call it, baby.
Beat Terrace Marshall. I'm looking at my TV screen, which is delayed behind you, too. There was no tip.
Oh, man. Good. See,
I was just saying, receiver is a big need for them. Go all in with Darnold. Terrace Marshall is a guy I love. I hate he slipped here. I had him going late first round to the Packers. I mean, I'm happy. I like Terrace Marshall. This pick is a pick I like.
Yeah, no, it's a great pick. I mean, that's good. So go ahead, Colin.
I think that kind of eliminates if Marshall was there for the Bills and after the Saints pick here, I think that could have been a possibility that we see. But now that he's gone, I think we got to go CB2 or trade back.
Not many great receivers left on in the spot. Maybe a Dimey Brown. I mean,
none that are right here where there's so much that you can.
Dimey Brown's actually next up on my best available. So there we go. Maybe that makes sense. But
yeah, I think I have Dimey Brown back at. He's in my top. I have my top 82 right now.
He's at 61 for me.
Yeah,
61 for you. Where the hell? I can't read my own freaking big board. Oh, I have him at 46. So.
There you go. Oh yeah, he's on your big board, best available right now.
I should have just looked at the goddamn screen, Mr. Morcell. Yeah. Why are you telling me to look at the screen?
Terrace Marshall
is in already.
Doesn't use his body the best, but I mean, I see NFL receiver written on this dude.
Oh my God, yeah. I thought that if he didn't go there, I didn't think he would go there. To be honest, I thought he was going to go to the Saints before the Bills. I feel like him across Michael Thomas, that's terrifying. But him, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, that's just as scary. At least he has 2 people there instead of just one Mr. Slant. Is Michael Thomas good?
Yes.
I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
He's not. No, I like Michael Thomas. He's really good. He's a freak for what he is, though. It's the thing because he's like a slot receiver, but he has the body of friggin' Kelvin Johnson. He's got good athleticism, and I like him. I want to see him healthy. He's a top 5 receiver in the NFL, but I'm just a little weird on him.
Speaking of whether or not someone's good, I saw a picture earlier, and I had to question whether someone was good at Photoshop or if my eyes were deceiving me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It looks like you can stuff
It looks like one of those things
McDermott's inside of him.
Where you make the other people small and you make the one person big.
Yeah, like those museums
Literally.
where like you stand in the corner and it's like the illusions and shit. Yeah.
I mean, that was just ridiculous. I know we're getting ready to pick here, but when I saw that, I just had to show up. By the way, Adam Schefter's getting owned by that Lake Erie Wind, says MLJ.
Shout out MLJ. Shout out all the Bills media guys. We are lucky to have maybe the best media cultures in all of the NFL, I would say. And the Saints select Pete Werner.
I was hyping Pete Werner up a bit. He's a good
were.
linebacker.
Werner,
Nothing
baby.
crazy. Yeah. Ohio State linebackers scare me. He is a guy I did take in my Madden franchise, though.
Bills officially on the clock.
It has to be iffy.
Okay, so iffy or trade back? What's your final prediction here?
Okay, well, let's look at who's behind the Bills. Let's look at who's behind the Bills right now. You have Green Bay right behind them, who would not take a cornerback 2 picks in a row. The Chiefs, I don't think, would take a cornerback. The Buccaneers are a wild card, so that one scares me a little bit. I feel like they're going to invest in the defense as opposed to the offense because they know they have Tom Brady there. So I would be worried about him going to Tampa Bay. But the thing is, how far back are you trading? I've been in on iffy since the beginning of the draft process. I just hope the Bills have been too.
I'm okay with
Trey
iffy.
Sermon?
Trey Sermon, best running back left, in my opinion. I just don't want a running back. I'm so adamantly against running back being a need for this team right now.
I tend to be with you. I do think that we can do better than Devin Singletary, but there is no guarantee that anyone in this draft will do better than Devin Singletary.
Yeah, you can do better than any player on this roster, though. You know,
exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't just go at a player
other than Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs is the only one who has their roster spot carved in, and Josh Allen.
He's the only player. There's quarterbacks I take above Josh Allen in the NFL right now. I won't get into that, but not to be. I'm in draft mode. This is not Bills mode, Meerkat. Bills mode kicks in about 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Because whoever we draft, I am going to love.
No matter what.
No, there are picks here I wouldn't be happy with, I guess.
I don't want a linebacker. Like the guy, I'll pull up my draft board right now because
I'll take Jabril Cox. That's the only linebacker I take right now because he would fit what we need almost.
Exactly. And I kind of do regret having Baron Browning as high as I do have him. I don't think I may or may not have been peer pressured just by seeing other people's rankings of him, thinking I was missing something. But I'm kind of inclined to think Jabril Cox is better. I mean, if it's Creed Humphrey or Iffy, I'm gonna be super ecstatic right now. I mean, those are my two guys. Them or Wyatt Davis. Those are the guys I'm really hoping for.
I don't want to be one of those guys who throws out a ton of names and it's like, oh, I said it hits. But I tweeted, Evan just said, number one want right now is corner. I'm happy with Molden, Iffy, or Robinson, or interior offensive line. Humphrey, Miners, Wyatt Davis all make me happy. But like a Nasruddin, Jabril Cox, even a Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan could be out of left field. I don't hate those.
I don't want pick is in for the Bills.
Pick is in.
Wait. Pick is in.
That was a quickie.
All right.
And I don't want to like toot my own horn or anything, but this is more just how much I love Brandon Beane. So two years ago, I was all in on Ed Oliver. Last year, I was all in on AJ Epinesa. Last night, I was all in on Gregory Russo. So like, there's got to be a pick that disappoints me eventually, and I'm worried that this is going to be it, just because there are so many options that I love right now.
The pick that would piss me off, like actually piss me off right now, would be like Joseph Osai or something like that.
Yeah, but I just don't see us taking another edge rusher right now.
I in some reality, I could see it being an edge, but over like a Basham or a Perkins, I don't see that. I don't know. Jabril Cox, it shouldn't be completely ruled out, but no. I don't know. We have to deal with this commercial break. Don't look at the timelines, folks. Mm-hmm. Oh, the pick's probably already out there, and it's killing me.
Yeah, I'm doing my best not to see anything. You know what? This is there's a lot of tension right now. A lot of we're obviously a little worried about what's going to happen. You said commercial break, so you know what? Let's take a commercial break.
Wait. Oh no, it's the Cowboys. Why the fuck are they going to show like someone just screaming it while it says the pick is in?
Speaking of screaming, I would scream for some great discount liquor right now, Wake.
Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
My outlet is Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. Man, that timed out perfectly. The Bills pick is in.
All right.
Crank up that audio.
Yeah, for real.
Basham, did I said it.
The Bash Brothers. I said it.
No. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but
So we thinking we trade into round 3 then? Pick a corner?
We believe in Levi. Wake is frozen.
Now he's blinking.
It's not the Wi-Fi. Try. Sob.
Look at Meerkat's best available. That's what it's all about right there.
Basham's a great football player. I mean, like, I'm not mad about this. This is what I was just saying. Is edge is totally in play here, even though it sounds stupid. Hughes and Addison are old. Behind that, you have F.A. Obata, who I love F.A. Don't get me wrong. Ryan Talbot loves him, but I don't think he is a starting defensive end. And then behind Addison, it's Russo and Epinesa. That is no confidence. If both of those guys leave next year, we have the worst defensive end group in the NFL.
I think one has to leave this year. There's no way a defensive end doesn't get traded.
I don't. We're not that deep, and we always run deep at defensive ends. We've seen us hoard Daryl Johnson and put him on the 53 the past 2 years without him seeing the field. AJ Epinesa the first half of last year. Like we run a heavy rotation, but we're not afraid to ease guys in and go. We're gonna go deep on the defensive line this season.
Apparently, I would have accepted going again on edge later in the draft, but I just don't. The first 2 picks, what about cornerback 2? What about linebacker? What about safety? I would have taken a wide receiver there over that. He's
why do we
probably
want
the top projects at edge rusher? Are we taking lottery tickets out on this position?
Basham's a lot less of a project than Gregory Russo is. Not that same, but Russo's ceiling is much higher. That's the difference.
Exactly.
But I obviously it's just my draft board, but I had a pretty high here. Brandon Beane could be in love with him. Brandon Beane should say this guy just fell into our laps. That's crazy. We need to be all over this. And like he said before the draft, he is sticking to we are looking to the future. Whatever BS he was feeding us wasn't BS.
You know what? I think I need an outlet right now.
Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Hey guys, I'm popping out to get ready for trivia coming up here in a couple minutes. Thanks for having me. Well done on night 2 here, gents.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Maniac. And we're about to wrap this thing up. In just a few words on Basham, though, our newest pick, guys. I'm not upset like Waco's over this. This is a good pick. I think he could see the field to contribute earlier than Russo can in our defense. If you're talking about immediate impact, he's a well-rounded guy. He's quick. He's fast for being a thick-ass dude. He is built, and he uses his hands great. He's got a nice repertoire of pass rushing moves. He can rush from a defensive tackle spot, kind of like Russo does. He provides a mismatch. I don't know. He's nothing insane. He's a little stiff there. He's got to spray a little WD-40 in those hips. We want those slick, oily hips, but just not a guy. His athleticism doesn't jump out at you, but he is very solid, and he knows how to rush the passer, and he's refined at doing it.
I don't have an issue with Basham, the player. I just don't. I question the asset management side of it, like drafting, assembling a roster, assembling an organization, assembling anything, like even like assembling a tax form. It's all about asset management, and I just don't know that using the first two. Like it was the worst part. Can we say that the defensive line was the worst part of the Bills' team as a whole last year, right? So like I can understand from that perspective wanting to invest in it many times, but this isn't the edge class to really do that, in my opinion. I mean, like I don't hate Carlos Basham at all. In fact, if this was the third round, I'd probably be happier than Meerkat is right now. But it's not the third round. Colin, talk me off the ledge, or buy me a cinder block. I don't know.
Oh no, I'll try and talk you off the ledge. I'm a nice guy. I mean, Meerkat's put it perfectly. This guy, he's got the size, and he's a guy that Bean said it before the draft. We're looking for the future. We see some comments coming in. They like Dane Jackson too. They must like Levi Wallace enough where they think that for this year, they're in a better spot for corners than they are going forward for the defensive end and edge rusher position. And getting Russo and getting Basham are two guys that I said it before the draft even started when we first got on. They don't need to come in and make that impact in day one. They really don't have to. And these guys are going to be here. They're going to develop over the course of the season. And then next year, if we lose Hughes, one of these guys will be able to step in, and if not both. And like we said, the Bills' defensive line hasn't been that great in the previous years. Not that they haven't been able to get to the QB like we really hoped they would be able to. I mean, ever since that cold front, it hasn't really been much of anything. And now solidifying that going forward, it's going to make us a lot better because these are guys that are able to get to the QB, and it's not just – they're going to be able to get touches. They can get sacks, and that's what we need. I mean, you saw how the Bucks beat Mahomes. A, they were able to cover, but B, they were able to actually get to Mahomes.
Yeah.
Right? So getting a guy maybe that can get to him in the next few years. We know it's going to be Mahomes versus Allen, or it should be. If we're going to get to the Super Bowl, we're going to have to go through the Chiefs for the next 4 or 5 years.
And going through the Chiefs now, we are going to need Carlos Basham to pass rush against Creed Humphrey, who went to them. So this is worst case scenario for me. This is actually I'm
happy with it.
The Green Bay at 30 was really hoping that the Bills wouldn't take an offensive lineman, and they didn't. And the Chiefs were hoping that both of them wouldn't, or one of them wouldn't. They got their wish. I mean, I get it. But to me, it's more than just the edge that needs work. I don't see us putting all our eggs in the defensive line basket through the first 2 days of the draft. And I was really hoping we'd get Tyler Kelvin in the third round, the defensive tackle. That's probably not going to happen now. I feel like it would make sense for the Bills to trade up and secure a corner. You know, people are commenting and posting on Twitter, wow, they must really like Dane Jackson. But why is that now an acceptable argument that the Bills didn't take a cornerback in round 2, that they're neglecting the position? Like, we can't switch.
People are falling heavily, and Brandon Beane is time and time again said and proven with his picks. He loves value, and Basham probably provided the most value on their board at a position in need. GR is a project. He's raw. Basham is a guy who can contribute and play NFL snaps week 1. I don't think GR can do that and contribute at a meaningful level week 1. And like I said, he is extremely raw. There's no guarantee he pans out. Even though I like him, he could be a bust. So why not load up? Because we, after this year, are kind of screwed at defensive end, and that's proven to be the second most important position in the NFL the past couple of years.
And now we got a good – if these guys can develop over this year and the next, we have a solid young group of
future is set.
Four guys on defensive line. We got Oliver, Epinesa. Now these two guys, we have our guys locked in that we can have now for the next 3, 4, 5 years on their rookie deal still. I mean, Oliver is only in his third year, or going into his third year, and he made a pretty decent jump from year 1 to 2.
Oh, and year 3 is going to be even better for him.
Yeah, and let's hope Epinesa can do the exact same thing. And when Jerry Hughes starts to get old, and if it starts to show this year, Epinesa can step in, and then Rousseau starts to get reps, and then Basham starts to get reps. It's good for the future.
It's definitely good for the future. In the article I put out today, I said that I loved the influx of young talent because the defensive line is aging really rapidly. Like Jerry Hughes could fall off at any moment. He is getting to that age, and I love Jerry Hughes. I'm never going to hate on the guy, but father time's a thing. So I get it. This is just one of those moments where, I'm just going to say I trust the process. I'm going to chug the rest of this processed juice that I got right here. It's a sour apple American ale brewed with real fresh apple from the Edmunds Oast Brewing Company. Thank you, Edmunds Oast. That I know we said we were going to be on through the Bills pick, and we've made it this far. I have nothing further on Basham because it just won't be productive from me right now. But maybe we'll give our predictions for round 3, maybe, and we'll get out of here. So Meerkat, start with you. What do you think? Where do you think the Bills go in round 3 after dipping into edge rusher twice?
Like I said, you saw the dip on corner. I still think corner is the biggest need on this team. The value just probably wasn't there for them right now, and you're seeing a ton of talented guys slip. I got 3 guys still that I really like in my top 10 available with Iffy, Robinson, and Molden there. A lot of good secondary to be had. I think they look for that day 2 or tomorrow. Round 3. What am I even saying right now? I got Carlos Basham brain.
Tweeted yesterday.
I got Basham brain, folks. But I could see that. I wouldn't be surprised if they're aggressive and even moving up. But Brandon Beane's just proven to us we have no idea what his draft board looks like.
Colin, what do you think they do tomorrow?
The
rest of the night. Sorry.
I think I'd have to agree with Meerkat here. I mean, we saw them. We were Meerkat had Basham as the best available, so obviously props to Meerkat. But you and I, Wake, we were heavy on the CB2. We thought if he was a lock there, and it didn't happen. And Meerkat said it. He's got 3 guys in his top 10 that are cornerbacks. And the cornerback room, the chart, whatever you want to call it for the draft, it's still pretty deep. I mean, there's still 4. I would even add just to that list just because he's got that same build. And, Minnesota plays in a conference where they're going up against top receivers. So, I don't know. I think cornerback is the way to go. But, I mean, if we're drafting for the future, any position, another receiver could be a good fit there depending on who it is. I'm not sure who's going to be available there. But receiver, corner, I think you can't go wrong with either of the two.
Yeah, for myself, I think that I imagine a trade up by the end of the night. I think it's going to happen, and I imagine it would be for corner, but I would also accept offensive line. I've been very vocal on the cap that I don't think running it back with the same offensive line unit that couldn't block is worth it. And so I would hope for cornerback or offensive lineman. I said it on Twitter earlier. I'll say it again now. Kevin Massari getting back in here right before we head out. So real quick, you'll get the final thoughts here. Thoughts on the Carlos Basham pick, and what do you think happens in round 3?
I mean, guys, it has to tell you one thing or another. It has to tell you they're moving on from their vet defensive ends. You just do not have the roster spots. I mean, no matter who you like, who you don't like, you just don't have the roster spots. You can't. They already like Darryl Johnson a lot, the special teams ability. You just do not have the spots to have 7, 8, 9 defensive ends. I am going to say this, and I'll put it on air now. I think that it could mean bad things for AJ Epinesa. I do personally think that he was inactive at times last year. I don't think he did anything particularly well, and the Bills know that, we need to make sure we have enough in the pipeline. I think it doesn't say good things for AJ Epinesa. Just in pure roster numbers and pure future moves, I do think that it's an early one of those things where, maybe we need to put more in the pipeline. So I think it's an interesting move. I think they've put a ton of resources into edge. It's still an average room to me. Basham doesn't change that. And we need the production now, as you've now sunk 2 second-round picks, 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and about $60 million into the defensive line. It needs to start performing. It's not something you can say it'll be good in 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I said that I think that there will be a trade. I don't know if it'll be Epinesa, but it's an interesting point you bring up that it could be. It did take him longer than we would have liked to come on. He did come on at the end of the year, credit where it's due, but it's not what you were hoping from your first overall selection in any draft. No, even if it is a second rounder, you need that pick to hit.
By the way, before it might be the last thing I say, the Bucs took Kyle Trask as that 32 or 32nd overall pick for the second round. So, successor maybe
learn from the best to ever do it. One quarterback who relies way too much on tight ends to another. Kevin, thoughts on round 3, and then we're going to get out of here because we know we have the Sabres trivia night with Brother Bill and Chris Collins.
That sounds fun. I mean, still the biggest weakness is the cornerbacks position. I mean, nobody loves somebody more than the Bills coaching staff loves Levi Wallace. I think he's the biggest weakness on the roster for everyone saying doubling down on the most important position. I mean, how about the biggest weakness on the roster, and it's cornerback too. Levi Wallace gets picked on at times. Even Ryan Fitzpatrick found that option. Preston Williams always seems to eat up Levi Wallace, eat his lunch. So, I mean, it's that cornerback 2 spot. I don't know if someone's going to be on the board that's going to be any more productive than Levi or Taron Johnson. So, do they have a vet in mind? Is it something? There's still a lot of talent and free agencies. Richard Sherman could get a phone call. I mean, who better to sell than Richard Sherman? Like, hey, you have a cornerback 2 starting job here if you show up. So, I mean, there's that kind of possibility. There's still Zach Ertz that you can make a trade for here. But are you going to get a starting corner in the 90s? It's tough for me to believe. But, if they do decide to come up and trade up, that would make me feel better. But you got to look at the cornerback room. But they must have felt pretty good that they would be able to take a Molden or a Robinson or a Melvin Wu. Yeah.
Those are my 3. I was said, like, I can see them if one starts to slip of those 3, even just staying put. But I could see being aggressive, trying to move up. Sorry, I dropped some wires and.
I was wondering what you were doing down. What you were doing down there.
I just dropped like a bunch of wires. It was rough. It was rough. All
right. Well, that is going to do it for us on the Trainwreck Sports 2021 second round live stream. Thank you everyone who tuned in last night. Thank you everyone who tuned in again. These have been some of the best shows I've ever done with Trainwreck, and you guys are a part of it. Everyone here on the live stream and everyone watching at home. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you on behalf of Outlet Liquor and Amherst Ale House, 2 great sponsors, great friends of the Crowd Assist podcast and Trainwreck Sports. Make sure you make them a part of your game day traditions, whether it's getting dinner from Amherst Ale House or getting wasted on behalf of Outlet Liquor. For myself, Meerkat, Kevin, Cullen, everyone at Trainwreck Sports, thank you for tuning in.